God, that's good.
Yeah.
Morning cup of freedom. Okay, good morning, everybody. It is time for Caliber Corner, episode number 49. Today, we're going to talk about cheap handguns, new and used, budget long-range shooting, and bucket list guns. We're going to share our top 5 bucket list of those bucket list guns we'd love to buy. We've got a pretty active panel this morning, and everybody's going nuts over in the chat on both the gun channels and the YouTube side. That's good. I think people see cheap handguns, and immediately they're like, I got a couple $100 on the debit card I can blow. So let's take a look and see who's joining us over on the gun channel side. We've got Paper Plane Crash over there as usual. General Relativity is with us. He says, what? I'm an hour early? I don't know, maybe. Tony's over there. Tony's over here. Always good to have you with us, Tony. And over on the YouTube side, we got Moo Butt. Midnight Range was the first guy to check in. Gizzard Gary first. Maybe the first person from the panel to join us on the YouTube side. General Relativity is also over there. And MRTM's just chatting it up. Midnight Range, he saw the topic, budget long-range shooting, and he thought to himself, man, I got to join in. Fit and Fire's with us. Fit and Fire, how you doing, buddy? He's probably enjoying that nice warm weather down in Kansas. D-Temp 62, tacos and French fries. Now I'm hungry. AWAG is there. AWAG is here. AWAG is everywhere.
I'm everywhere and nowhere.
There we go. Cadillac Jack, WB. Chris Gibson's with us. Good morning, Chris. So that's our morning roll call. We'll come back and recognize a few more people coming to class late. So what do we got here? Moobot says, I blew all my money on arcade stuff this month. That's okay. Arcade games are a good investment. Zinger, happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you too. All right, so let's go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves. Feel free to plug any shows if you want to. Get the word out about anything you're working on. And Squib, we'll start off with you, man. What's going on?
All right, so before we went live, everybody's dragging out their damn commie guns and racking the action.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yep.
Oh.
All right.
No idea what you're talking about.
A good old-fashioned American gun.
Disclaimer, we have a very rowdy panel this morning. I apologize. There's going to be very little focus. I just want to get that out right now. But anyway, carry on, Squib.
I'm going to just keep my M1 Garand handy because there's just too much communism in this chat already. So, or in this show. Good morning. What are we doing?
Well, we're going to have a live podcast, and we're going to talk about guns. Gary's showing off his postage stamp collection. Squib, anything you want to let us know about? What's going on, man?
Yeah. There's a show that I do frequently called Caliber Corner. It's Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, the only time zone. Oh, no, wait.
Are you quarking me, Squib? Are you quarking me with that show?
He is.
I think you are.
I'm just trying to get it on the right time, man. Monday nights, I do Lock and Load at 11 p.m. Eastern with Hawaii Volcano Squad and Dusty and Patrick, and sometimes Jesse James jumps in the show, and on occasion we have other people come into the show, and there goes my M1 Garand. Oh. Don't ever drop your rifle. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, there goes the
ever drop your rifle.
You have to share it. You have to sell it for a couple $100 now. So,
hey, just a heads up: if there's any dents or small divots in the stock, you can put a piece of like washcloth or something that is wet, and you take an iron and you use the steam function on it, and it'll bring out those dents in the wood. That's what I use to restore most of my commie gun stocks, and I'm pretty sure it'll work on American stocks.
Oh,
no,
I don't know.
It will. Beams and dents in an American stock give American rifle character, but M1 Garand versus Pergo floor, my money's on the Garand. Hope nobody notices that mark on the floor.
Oh, my God. All right, Squib, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Tony, what's up? Tony's back. Tony, you got any shows you want to plug? Anything you'd like to share with us? Feel free, buddy. He might be reaching for his coffee cup right now. I don't know. All right, so Tony, we will come back to you in just a sec. Nice strike. What's new in your world, buddy?
We're talking cheap handguns today, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are.
There we go.
That sounds like ATI?
Nope.
No, that sounds like a Beretta 92S, former police trade-in, Italian surplus.
It may be.
Oh, I noticed that kind of that smoothness on the back end that you only get from Beretta.
Stay tuned for more. But in the meantime, check out guntube.org for a better platform than YouTube with less policy.
Of course. course.
And yeah, check us out on check us out with our third co-host, Travis P11, on Hit or Miss Tuesday nights 10 o'clock.
If somebody wants to support guntube.org, where do they go and what do they do? Is there a Kickstarter, GoFundMe? Is there a Patreon page for it or what?
I've got a Patreon for GunTube. I'm thinking about starting a Kickstarter, but I'm not sure I'll get the initial funding for it. So I just have a Patreon right now. So go to patreon.com/GunTube.
Okay, cool. It's a good way to.
Or you can visit the Spreadshirt store and buy swag.
Okay, cool. Yeah, the T-shirts are awesome, man. You had that on in Tulsa, didn't you?
Yes, I wore it the whole weekend.
That is awesome, dude. That's freaking awesome. So do support the channel. Get GunTube going. Think of GunTube. Okay, so YouTube. Think of YouTube as living in a family and having parents that only let you have so much fun. GunTube is like having parents that are never home and let you do whatever you want.
Going to your uncle's house.
Exactly. Yeah. Going to your uncle's house. Yeah. Boy, you ever had PBR? Okay. No. All right. So, Night Strike, thank you so much. Tuesday nights, Hit or Miss. It's on at 8 o'clock Central Time, the only time zone that matters because we're in the middle. Everything rotates around us like the Earth. And I'm kidding. Yeah. All right. So, Sandhills Shooter's joining us. He's coming in. Sandhills, we have a very rowdy crowd today. We see cheap handguns and people just start frothing. They're like, gun show. So, Sandhills, what is new in your world, buddy?
Not a whole lot new in my world. Thank you for the invite. And I'm going to be disappearing here about 9 o'clock or so. So I will just say hello and goodbye right now. And then I got to head into work. It's my day off. I got to go in for just a little bit. But as soon as I get there, I'm just going to duck out and not interrupt anything. So, again, thanks for letting me come join.
No problem, man. No problem. A lot of very active chat over on both the YouTube and the Gun Channel side, trying to answer a few questions already. Patrick says, good morning, everybody. Happy pre-4th of July weekend. Yes. Happy pre-4th of July to you, too. You guys enjoy this. Oh, my God, General. All right. So let's bring it back here. Where do we leave off? So, Tony, are you with us again? Tony, are you back?
I don't know if I'm here or not.
All right. Well, we got your voice, and that's all that counts. So, Tony, you got any shows you want to plug? Anything you want to let us know about? Anything that what's new in your world, bud?
There's nothing new. I have the early watch weekdays, some of them.
Okay.
Whenever the hell we get started.
Well, that's fine.
Mornings,
Gotta be
usually.
flexible in life. Gotta be flexible. Tony, what time is that show on? I might be scaring him away. Tony, you with us, bud? Oh. All right, we'll come back to him again. Gizzard Gary, what is new in your world, man? What's going down? You're showing all kinds of guns off this morning. You got something you want to share? Show and tell, Gizzard Gary. Show and tell.
Well, we can do that.
Let's do a little show and tell real quick. Since we're talking cheap used guns, fun guns, whatever, right? Focus is going to be on handguns today, revolvers and pistols, but doesn't mean you can't be looking for a pistol and find yourself a shotgun. All right, Gary, what do you got?
Well, it's not only a shotgun. It is a single shot, actually made by Taurus Rossi, about 2010 vintage, single shot, interchangeable barrels, and came with a 20 gauge and a 22 long rifle. Picked this up for $150. Actually gave me $20 just to get it off their hands, and I said sold.
So what? Okay, brand new. Are those around $250? They're not. I'm with the shirt. The two barrels. It's probably not a cheap gun. Are we
Not
looking
extremely, but it's not extremely expensive either.
Yeah. Now, are
But
those
you can buy different barrels for those, they tell me. And I looked online, they do make all kinds of rifle calibers and everything else for those. 3 if you're a major, 12 gauge, 20 gauge, 410. So basically whatever you want to shoot in it, and it's real easy to get the barrels changed out. And I thought that'd be an excellent thing to have. Plus I don't own a 20 gauge and I've been wanting to get into 20 gauge, so.
That's cool. No, yeah, I got a Stoker 20 gauge over under. Well, it's actually my wife's, and she loves. You can hunt with that thing all day, man. It is so light. It is perfect for dove. It's just perfect, man.
I don't know if I know anything about cheap handguns,
A little P111 G2, or is that a G2C?
Yeah, it's a G2.
All
About
right,
3
again,
years.
209, anywhere between 209 and 250, basically. I mean, if you really just look around, you can find them everywhere. For that
I
price.
didn't get that lucky. I bought mine 3 years ago when they were
Yeah.
still $299, and it's like, man, I could
Did you Did you get it on the $50 rebate though when they were
no,
selling them? Okay,
no,
because they had
before
one
that ever
2 years ago,
happened.
3 years ago. Yeah, because I paid about 300, a little over 300 for mine, and I got the $50 gift card that they sent back. It was a Visa card you could spend on stuff, and now they're what 209, 210. Sometimes they were for the
You can
longest
pick them
time.
up under 200 sometimes.
Yeah, DE Guns had them for 179 for about 2 years on their website. It was their featured gun of the day. You had to pay shipping, obviously, but still you could get into one for $200.
But
So,
I'm all
yeah.
about the Tauruses, so we can talk cheap handguns all day.
Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of options there. And like I said, we'll talk new or used, whatever works for you. Gary, you got any shows you want to plug? Are you doing any podcasts, any programs, videos? What should
Well,
we be
I
checking?
could plug the fact that I know Clover had his 1 year anniversary on Gun Channel last night, and I got to looking at my channel. Well, today is my 1 year anniversary on Gun Channel, so
I think everybody's having a 1 year anniversary. I don't know.
I may do a show late this evening.
Didn't Ghost have one also? Ghost Tactical, didn't he do a year also? Like Ghost and Clover weren't they within like a week or a month of each other or something like that? I thought they both had a 1 year.
They had some sort of anniversary or 1,000 subscriber or something.
Okay.
They're always celebrating something.
Cool. And I see you got your ammo cat with you. That's always good. Mine's upstairs sleeping on the table.
He realized the camera was on, and he decided he needed to make his appearance. So, yep,
Nice.
is here.
All right, cool. Let's see. Tony hasn't come back. He might come back and join us here in a little bit. All right, so Gary, thanks for joining us, man.
You bet. Thanks for the invite.
All right, so AWAG. What's going on in the world of commie guns? Can you give us an update on that? What, Romanian PSL? Is that what your project gun is?
Yeah, the Romanian PSL is actually kind of stalled right now because my parents they're moving a bunch of stuff out of their garage and into the garage where basically my mill and press are. And there's a bunch of clutter and stuff in front of my mill and press, so I can't exactly get to working on my rifle just yet. And also, I'm still waiting on a few pieces. The only things that I need are a magazine, a receiver, which I'm going to wait for because I emailed Childers receivers, and they did say that they're in the process of working on a PSL receiver, so I'm going to wait for those. And I need a new barrel. So I still have the demilling process to do, which is taking the old receiver parts off of the trunnions and all that stuff, pressing the old barrel parts out of the trunnions and all the other miscellaneous parts, and then cleaning everything up. I'm actually going to be doing once I get it all built, and I'm going to take everything that's wood on it, I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to send the rifle out to get Cerakoted, and it's going to be a very dark charcoal gray. So
that's gonna be nice once you get it all finished up.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be the first gun you're gonna be selling through Nightwagon Rifle Works? Is that gonna be the first one for sale? No,
that rifle is one that's gonna stay in my collection forever.
It's gonna be a keeper, huh?
Yes.
All right, good deal. So in terms of content, are you going to focus on car content since you don't want to really do the gun thing on YouTube? Are you going to put some gun videos over on guntube.org? Have you been putting gun videos over there or not?
I have not.
Okay.
Just the simple fact that all of my cameras are dead, pretty much.
Okay.
Now the camera on my phone, I could do transfer stuff between my phone and my computer, since I've set my computer up with Bluetooth and everything, so I don't have to take out the little SD card and put it back in and do that kind of swip. I can actually send it from my phone to my computer, which is great.
Okay.
But
I mean, don't forget. I mean, I bought a little 1080p. I guess it's over by the wall. Kodak camera. It's one I use for my target cam. $49.
Huh.
Ready to go. I mean, you just got your memory card, your SD card. You pop it in your reader, and you're good to go.
Yeah. So content for me, other than these live streams, I'm gonna try and be on more live streams. Like I was on Matt's Wednesday. What was it? Guns and Geeks podcast. I was on his. I've been trying to basically keep up my my content by just substituting it for something else. You know?
Okay. No, there's nothing wrong with that. And I know Matt was talking about starting up a third channel, if I'm not mistaken, like a sci-fi channel. So it's good to kind of branch out a little bit and kind of hit, you might bring people to your other pages and your other content through other channels that you run. So that's always a good thing too. So,
Yeah.
all right. So thank you for joining us all here this morning. Squib is showing something off there. Squib, is that
You need one of these, is what you're saying. Right here. Right?
is that a PSL magazine? Squib, what is that?
That's a PSL magazine. It was buried in the bottom of, went digging through my, obsolete gun parts like commie guns and setnies and that sort of thing.
How much do you want for it?
Oh, no, this one, it's out of your price range, man.
How much
$50?
is out of my price range?
$20?
No, it kind of goes with the theme of the show. If you want to get an affordable gun, the best thing to do is get a time machine and go to back to when they were affordable, because nowadays everything's overpriced.
I'll give you $75 for that magazine.
Come on, Squib, take it. You got nothing to shoot it through anyway. Squib,
Not yet. Instead of building one, I'll just buy one.
Squib, how about 70
that
bucks, Squib? $70 and you ship it to him. How's that? That's a good deal. He's got to think about that for a sec.
$75.
Come on, man. Like throw in like a
I can PayPal you right now.
Throw in like a goat or something,
Well, just in the interest of this becoming an auction, I mean, I could throw in a bid for 80 just to see how high AWAG's willing to go.
Oh, stop. If I was going to go on 80, I'd go to Gunbroker.
Oh, God. Okay, well, we got to get the show started. Squib, you think about it. Let that marinate for a while, and if it works with you, you guys can work out some sort of a deal. So, all right, we got to get into it. I'm excited. We're talking about cheap handguns. We haven't talked about budget firearms in a long time. We're talking about pistols, revolvers. I want to focus on $300 or less. We'll just go through the calibers, and if you can think of some suggestions for the viewers, that'd be great. If you've seen typically in the used market, especially like on Gunbroker, you tend to see a lot of the same prices floating around for used guns. Sometimes, you start to see kind of a group of guns that'll be priced around the same range. And then, sometimes there's some that are more, sometimes there's some that are less. So let's just go right into it. Let's start off with the little guns and then work our way up to the bigger guns and see if we can come up with some solid suggestions. 22 LR to 32 ACP. What are some of the options out there that you guys know of? If you want to get into a cheap handgun, sub $300, what are the options for 22 LR through 32 ACP?
32 ACP. Would that count?
It could be surplus. It could be whatever.
32 ACP. Would that count as 9x18?
Good question. I don't know. I don't shoot commie caliber, so I can't. No, I'm just kidding. Guys, you want to help me in on that one? I guess off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I'm
gonna call BS on that one.
32 ACP guys as 9x18. I don't think so. You're talking 9x18 Makarov.
Yeah.
Just a quick suggestion to get it going. Cheap handguns, and you can laugh all you want, but this little guy is reliable as all heck. Jimenez JA22 paid $105 for it, I think, and it will run at least at the range when it's clean. I can do about 125 rounds through it. I did frog lube on it, did a video on it, did like 175 rounds and had 3 stoppages, but not till after I got to 100 rounds. So this little guy right here is just fun to have. It comes with 2 mags, 6+1. If you run like CCI mini mags through or CCI stingers, it'll run all day. Very easy to clean up. Just kind of a fun little. No, we're not talking self-defense pistols. We're not even talking concealed carry here. We're just throwing some ideas out there for fun guns. I see that you can also get. I don't have no experience with them, but you've got your Cobra Denali's that are out there in 380. But hey, another one. Heritage Rough Rider. You can get those for $114, starting at $114 going up. So, Gary, what's your experience has been with the Rough Rider?
It's also the Taurus PT22.
Okay.
I have one of those. I don't have it with me right at the moment, but I think I got that for around 165.
Okay. You got a lot of options. You might be able to get into a Ruger SR22 for $300 or less. I'm not, I don't do a lot with 25 through 32 ACP, so I don't have a lot of suggestions out there. There are some lower price brands that you can get. Like if you browse through Classic Firearms, a bunch of them start to pop up. Phoenix Arms makes a 25 ACP, if I'm not mistaken. That's like $140, $130.
Cobra.
Yeah, Cobra. They got and it's interesting on the Cobra. You read the reviews. There's like 3 or 4 where it just gets these outstanding reviews, and then there's one review where the guy says won't run anything I shoot through it. So you can take a chance on it. But a lot of those companies like Cobra, Jimenez, High Point, they come with lifetime warranties on them, so you could send it in. That's why we're saying don't use these as your primary carry gun. Keep them as just like a range toy, or maybe just a backup gun, or just simple throw it in the whatever. Just a have around gun to have just for fun.
Well, the PT-22 I keep in the glove compartment of my car, and that's primarily because a lot of times I'll run into a store and my daughter will sit out there and I can't get her to carry anything with her. And I said, listen, if worst comes to worst, this is in the glove compartment. Grab it, take the safety off. It's ready to fire.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you run for ammo in that? Do you usually do CCI?
When I'm at the range, I do. Now, actually, there's some Remington Golden Bullets in there right now for a little bit extra power.
Okay.
And they feed real reliably. They're a higher power ammo. But yeah, CCI mini mags, you can't hardly go wrong with that either.
Okay.
Some of the Federal Auto Match doesn't like to cycle, and it gets it awful dirty after a while. And those things, after you've shot about 30, 40 rounds,
yeah,
they'll start to not want to extract out of the barrel, and you have to go clean it. So
yeah, you get a lot of carbon buildup in a lot of your 22 LRs. I find if I shoot the CCI, I get a little bit less carbon fouling in those, but with the blowback gun, that's just kind of the nature of just where everything goes. It's not they can be dirty.
But the nice thing about it is it's got that tip up barrel, so you don't have to rack the slide or anything.
Yeah, yeah. Now is that somebody's talking about the Beretta Jetfire? Is it the similar design as the Beretta Jetfire?
It's going to be similar to that.
Yeah. So Blackhead says his Beretta Jetfire was in 25 ACP was less than $200. Yeah, we'll talk about Scott's talking about the Security 9. Yeah, we'll get to the 9mm because there's so many $300 and below guns, especially if you catch them on sale. Let's see what else are people suggesting out here. If you guys have any good suggestions, feel free to throw them out there if you want to. FEG and CZ, FEG and CZ. Yeah, you have some options there too. CZ50 can be had in 32 ACP for $200. Yeah, it's always fun to just browse the surplus guns at Classic, or just start with the low price point, work your way up. Okay, so we got a couple suggestions there. Let's see. There's the Walther. I know they're kind of finicky. The Walther. I can't remember what it is.
But here's the thing, though,
P22.
Yeah, that's right.
With some of these guns, and this is not just for this category, but every category moving forward, you might get a good deal on the gun, but you got 2 things to consider. One, part. Some of these guns, it's difficult to get. Even a replacement magazine is difficult to get. And 2, the caliber is going to be something that may not be stocked at your local store. You may have to mail order this thing, and it may cost a lot, to the point where you go, hey, I got a great deal on this surplus gun, but I can't do anything with it. So do your research before you buy. Even some of the more expensive ones we might be talking about, or different calibers or different caliber ranges we're going to be talking about during the show. Do your research and find out how available are something as simple as mags, how available is ammunition. If you reload, then it's not as big of a factor because you already know where your sources are to reload your ammo. But just keep that in mind. Just because the gun's under $200 doesn't necessarily mean you got a good deal in the long run.
One thing about those guns, just something also to consider when you're talking about magazines and parts. A lot of these 22 through 32s, they are 10 round magazines or less, so you can buy magazines for them on eBay. Like I took the 6 Hour Mosquito to the range and put a lot of rounds through it and had fun with it. But at the time when they first came out, you couldn't get spare mags and they came with one. The original 6 Hour Mosquito mags, which is the same thing as the GSG Firefly handgun. Those were metal mags. Now they're plastic. And for a long time, you couldn't find them. I was just browsing eBay. Now, if you get yourself a GSG Firefly, which is like a miniaturized 22 LR version of the 6 Hour P226, you can get those for $200, $249, like $199 when they're on sale. And that's a fun handgun to practice with. But again, parts, trying to find a replacement spring for it. You can find some mags, you can find some random parts here or there. And that's a fairly popular 22, the GSG Firefly. You see them around. You see a lot of them being advertised. They're not parts of plenty. So that is definitely something to take into consideration, especially if you pick up, say, a surplus commie gun. You're going to get like a, I would say like not really a Makarov or a P64, but you get into some of these like these little CZ50s and things like that. You could have a hard time sourcing mags for it. So, hey, Never Enough Ammo's joining us. Matt, what's going on this morning, dude? How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Just trying to wrap up work here.
Cool. Hey, Matt.
Hop on.
No problem, man. Real quick, can you throw out any of your favorite 22 through 32 ACP cheap pistols off the top of your head? Do you have anything that you can recommend? We're going to work our way up the caliber ladder.
Yeah, well, I mean, I ran a little Taurus PT-22 for a long time as a little pocket gun. I love that little thing. That thing was reliable.
Gary has one of those too. Okay.
Yeah. My wife's had her Keltec P32 for a long time, and we've shot the hell out of it. And before I had it, I got it. It was actually a little backup gun. Yeah, a little backup gun for a local cop around here, and he loved it. So, I mean, those are two I have direct experience with. I also, and then how practical is it? I've got the little Dixie Derringer, little 22 Magnum, little mini revolver, which is a lot. That's kind of a fun little gun, but carry gun, probably not. Although I have thrown it into my pocket before.
Yeah, no, we're just talking. We're not recommending these as concealed carry. This not even as a last ditch gun, because you're going to want something that's going to stop somebody if it needs to. But just to get a handgun, just to get a pistol, revolver, $300 or less is our price point.
Yeah.
And then
let's not forget the Heritage Rough Rider.
Yeah. Heck, you can get the regular with the 22 mag cylinder, sometimes with a box and holster for under $200.
Oh yeah, I've never paid. The most I ever paid for one was I think 120.
Yeah.
And that was one that came with both cylinders. This was a while back, but I bought three of them.
That's a real good deal.
Yeah, I bought three of them. Two of them I bought at Academy's Black Friday sale, and they sell them for $99. Pretty much like clockwork every year. They always throw Heritage Rough Riders out there for $99 every Black Friday, and that's how I bought two of them.
Wasn't somebody telling me you could buy a PT-111 G2 or a G2C and you got a free Rough Rider? Or vice versa.
That sounds like something Academy would do. They do that buy one get one with specifically Taurus and the Heritage Rough Rider a lot.
Yeah.
So I've seen them do like buy a Beretta 92, PT-92, or buy a Taurus PT-92 and get a Heritage Rough Rider free. I've also seen them do that with the. They used to do it a long time ago with 24/7s.
Do you think they do that because Taurus owns Heritage, or?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure that's what it is.
Because Heritage are made in the U.S., aren't they?
Yeah, the
factory's still in Florida, but Taurus owns them now. So. And I'm not saying that in a negative way either. Don't get me wrong. I'm just wondering if the manufacturer maybe is trying to work out a deal to move inventory.
Yeah, I'm positive that's what it is. I haven't asked anybody. I don't know anybody at Taurus, but I'd bet my left nut that's what it is.
You would think after all these years, you've got a rep over at Taurus.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
One time you got a free bumper sticker, right?
Yeah, I did. I know I got a free bumper sticker. I got a hat and a range bag.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you for your support. Hey, man, it's better than a handshake. So, yeah. Cool. All right. So good suggestions there out there. Yeah, I think the Rough Rider would be a great way to. That'd be if you want something that's gonna maybe hold its value a little bit more, maybe be a little more fun to take to the range, especially if you want to maybe go for a first 22 for somebody. That's definitely a way to go. And you got a lot of options for the grip finish and the barrel length, which is pretty cool. Yeah. So
I tell you, don't underestimate just the fun and the joy that a grown man can get out of fanning the hammer on a single action 22 that cost him $99. Just hold down the trigger and fan that sumbitch, and there's nothing like it.
And your ammo's dirt cheap. I mean, not as cheap as it used to be, but you can still get 22 mag's a little pricey, but get yourself a box of 550, whatever, for $20, $25, and you're good to go. That's a whole weekend of shooting fun right there.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah, man. All right, guys, let's move out of that category. Let's bump up to 380. Now things really start to open up. $300 or less. Toss it out there, guys. Obviously, on the cheap end, we've got the Cobra Denali, and we also have the high points for about 134 for 380. Any suggestions going up from there, guys?
Taurus
Thunder.
Versa Thunder.
Yeah, TCP. I've got one of those.
Yeah, TCPs are good guns. Those are about are those about 249? Can you get them for under 200 or not? 249?
199.
199.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you can.
See, we don't have Academy up here, so we don't get those awesome deals. Unfortunately,
I've seen them go online for as low as 169 on occasion when they have sales. So they can get pretty
cool.
cheap.
So more 380s, toss them out there. You could probably get yourself into a Smith & Wesson Bodyguard for around that price, around $300 or less.
Ruger LCP, you can get the original one now for I think 199 because the LCP2s and the LCP2s you can get under 300.
Yeah, Amubud is saying the LCP2 is under 300. A Shield Easy, can you get into a Shield Easy for 300? I thought they're more like 349.
You might find one on sale, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe a used one. I've got a family member that actually has one. He bought it for his wife, and she absolutely loves it. It runs like a champ.
I've seen some $299 Black Friday sales on those, but that's about it.
So Local 223 says, I will never understand 380. Local, in a lot of countries, that's like the maximum. That's the largest caliber that civilians can have for private pistol ownership in many countries. So 380 is popular. Anytime I've ever had a 380, I was running critical defense, which you watch the ballistics gel test, which doesn't mean anything, but if you do watch it, it just about meets the standard for penetration, like 12 to 13 inches in ballistic gel. So nothing against 380. It's better than nothing, and I wouldn't want to take, say, 5 or 6 to the face. But 380 does, in my opinion, does have its place. I think it's as a self-defense round. I think it would be viable.
Don't with your 9mm brass, because right now I'm separating that, and it's really hard to tell without looking at the head stamp.
Yes.
Got it.
Another thing about the 380 to consider, you might be, I'm going to get into 380. You might think less recoil. Not always, man. It depends on the gun. And ammo for 380, it is pricey. If you're going to pay $5 more for a box of 380 versus 9mm, and you want to shoot it a lot, maybe you should just go with the 9mm version of that pistol if it's available. If not, 380 is not, and you don't always have, like, say, at Walmart. Our Walmart does not have the best selection of 380. I think you have your standbys. You got your Winchester white box, Remington, maybe box of Federal, and that's it.
The thing about a 380, though, is typically you're not going to have very many guns that you're going to shoot a lot, because most 380s out there are pocket guns. You got your Burst of Thunder. Browning makes that smaller 1911 in 380. The new Smith & Wesson. There's a few, bigger sized 380s.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're evolving into pocket gun, or that's evolving into the caliber for a pocket gun. So I don't think anybody is a glutton for punishment and thinks that that's fun to shoot a lot.
I'll tell you what, though, you can get the high point carbine in 380 and the pistol in 380. I don't know if they have the interchangeable mags like the 9mm, but why you'd want a 380 carbine? I'm not going to say you shouldn't buy one, but I guess somebody might be interested in it.
I bet 380 steaming out of a 16-inch barrel is moving pretty damn quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet
9mm steaming out of that same barrel's quicker, though.
This is true.
All right, missing contest. I bet 10mm is even more powerful than that.
But the thing is, if you already have a 380, and some people, maybe it's their first gun and that's all they have, and then they find out they can pick up a carbine, and they only have to buy one box of ammo to feed them both. That makes sense to have that 380 carbine.
Real quick, want to get this out there. Sky does make a CPX2 and 380. I think they call it the CPX3. Don't buy it. Let's just get that out right now.
I did the world a favor yesterday, and I talked one of my coworkers out of buying a Sky for his wife. He had no idea. He's like, but it came in Tiffany blue. I'm like, yeah, dude, there's a reason they distract you with the color.
Mm-hmm. and there's part of me that wants to give them a chance, but I've owned two, and both of them CPX2s, and both of them had, one of them had, was my carry gun that failed after 3 years. And the other one was having the frame pins walk out after 50 rounds. Now, granted, they were 3 years old in production, and I know that Sky has revised their barrel. They've changed the feed ramps on them in the barrel to make it more reliable. But mine was an ejector that had worn out within 1,000 rounds. And maybe their intention is not somebody that's going to put that many rounds through it when they make it, because I didn't have trouble with it. The first 50 to 100 rounds were fine. Then after that, I started having the frame pins walk out. So I'm just saying they advertise it for $199 and people just buy them by the bucket full. But also, you don't want to buy too many. Yeah. Oh no, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
That seems legit. Let's go ahead and market a pistol that this thing's going to run fine as long as you never actually have to fire it. Don't worry about it. It's going to be good.
Here's the thing, though, and I will defend this ideology on one level. most people who are buying, $199 guns are not shooting those $199 guns. They need that gun to work for about 500 rounds. They need to put 200 to 300 rounds through it at the range to make sure they know how to use it, and then put it in the drawer or their purse or their glove box where it will only ever get pulled out if somebody is trying to harm them. Now, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's the way gun owners should do it. But I'm saying there are a lot of people who've defended themselves with cheap ass guns that if that thing had been fired more than 500 rounds, it would have fallen apart. So there is a place in the market for it where those things can still be good. I mean, Keltec, for instance, you know what I mean? In my opinion, it's just, but if it works in those first 500 rounds, that's probably all you're ever going to use that gun for. And hopefully you'll never even have to use it for that. So yes, there's a foggy line there when it comes to, are you getting value out of this gun? Well, a lot of people.
Hey, Matt, you're giving some people too much credit by saying they would actually put a couple hundred rounds through it at the range. There are people that buy the gun. Maybe, hopefully, they get the right ammunition when they buy the one box of ammo. Maybe they load it right. They put it in the nightstand, and then that thing never comes out. And then somebody inherits it after a funeral.
Somebody, or maybe they fire off a couple of shots. So I don't want to completely dismiss. I mean, I would never buy a Scout. That's because of how I use my guns.
Yeah.
People, it may be the best option.
Hey, Matt, you're a robot now. A little bit, buddy.
I'd like to say
$9 to spend.
Sorry.
All right.
I'd like to say
and
something.
that's what they have available at their local.
Hey, Matt, you've been cutting out pretty heavily the last 30 seconds.
First, and it may defend their life one day.
Yeah. He's got a good point though. The fact that they want to market a gun and they want to make an American-made gun.
Then they got nothing.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, what were you going to say now? Go ahead.
In defense of the 380 caliber itself, I was going to throw out there for first-time shooters or for, most females that a 9mm is a little snappy. My daughter's one of those. She just didn't like the 9mm. She can handle the 380 better. For older shooters, maybe they have arthritis in their hands and stuff. I mean, it's got its place. It's probably not the ideal, and for a younger middle-aged man or whatever, they may look at it and say, why would I bother with this? But not everybody's young and strong. So
yeah. Okay, any more recommendations for the 380 before we move up the ladder? Anybody have any more suggestions at all?
Have we gotten a 9mm yet?
What's that?
Have we gotten a 9mm yet?
No, we're going to come up on that next. Just throw a few more suggestions out there for 380. 9 by 18 or whatever, Makarov. You could get into your Max. You can get into your P64s for under $300, which I'm sure those are going to go up in price as time goes on. I mean, I wouldn't know about having a Makarov because mine was stolen out of my shopping cart by Foos. But that's a conversation for another time. You start to get into
one day. So 380 is 9 by 17, and Makarov is 9 by 18, and then Luger is 9 by 19. But the bullets are not interchangeable if you're reloading, so just know that.
Yeah. You've got a lot of good options out there on the surplus market, but just, again, make sure that you can get into some mags that they're going to be available also. It's important that you need to think about, so.
If you see this stuff on Classic Firearms and they're selling mags at the same time, you're already paying shipping. Just order some mags.
Yeah, I agree totally. Yeah, because you might not be able to find them. I mean, you can always check on Gunbroker, check on eBay, but you're probably going to pay more than what they're asking for it at the time.
Oh, you are.
Yeah.
Or years later, the mags are scarce and they mark them up.
Yeah. I know a lot of guys. We'll get to 9 here in a second. A lot of guys like those the Star BMs or the Star Model Bs, the 9mm. And I know for a while you couldn't even get mags for them. You got the one mag that came with the gun. You better hope that the spring does. The spring works. Granted, when you buy a surplus gun, you're buying it knowing that there might be some gunsmithing it's going to need or some replacement parts it's going to need. But still, yeah, that's a good point, Squib. Definitely pick up those mags when you get a chance. I'm just saying if
you're
there's
already
anything
paying
else.
shipping, so at that point, it's only going to go up a few more cents. You might as well.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Okay, let's go ahead and move up. All right, now let's take it to 9mm. This is going to open up the floodgates. I kind of want to just now. You guys go ahead and have a way. What suggestions for 9mm, $300 or less? And anyway, go ahead. I was going to run through the panel, but we're all going to say a lot of the same things. PT111 G2, G2C, G2S, in 9 or 40, by the way, which we'll get to in a little bit. True. Those are sometimes $180, $209, $250, depending on your location. Look around, watch for, especially around the holidays. They really mark them down. Black Friday, Christmas, Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend sale, 4th of July. You'll definitely see them on the cheap. You can definitely get them cheap. What else is out there for sub $300?
The Ruger EC9S.
Okay. The Security 9, you can get a Security 9 for $300, can't you? The new Security 9 that came out.
It'd be real close to.
Nah, they're about $340, aren't they?
Are they really?
I thought so. I could be wrong.
I can get locally. I can get a Remington RP9 for under $300. But between the horror stories I've seen on YouTube videos with them and what people say, but the funny part again about that Remington RP9 is you can get yourself a nice full size handgun for under $300. But yeah, I've watched it on Mac's channel, Military Arms channel. He had trouble with 2 or 3 of them, but you go read the reviews for them, and they're just outstanding. They mention no problems whatsoever. They'll feed everything, eat everything. So that's kind of one of those guns that I've just kind of been like, I don't know. I'd like to maybe try one at the range and see if it runs, just to see if it's any good. But again, Remington does make some good products, but I just don't know if I'd want to get that particular pistol. Ruger 9E, you can get the 9Es for around $300 when they're on sale. You only get one mag with them, but you can get go ahead.
I'm just going to say somebody mentioned the SDVE. Yeah,
yep, I was going to mention that too. Now, full retail on those is $349, but around the holidays, I think that PSA was selling them for Cabela's had them for $199 or $249 if I'm not mistaken, and you could get them in stainless, or they also make a black with an FDE frame or a black with a stealth gray frame, which looks pretty cool.
Saw one at my gun shop yesterday for a little over $200. Not bad at all.
New or used? New or used?
It was
okay. I bought a used one, but it came with extra mags for I think $225, which is that's for locally, just to be able to pick it up locally was a good deal. It looked like it had never been shot before. My only suggestion on that is that you swap out and get yourself a stainless steel guide rod spring combo, which you can get on eBay for $10. NDZ Performance makes one. I'm not a big fan of the SD9 VE guide rod and spring. It's very flimsy. And the first SD9 VE that I had feed problems with it, even though I took it apart and cleaned it. Tried 3 different types of ammo through it. It wouldn't go into battery. It wouldn't eject properly. I did get a Galloway aftermarket stainless guide rod and spring combo with the same pound weight that comes with the pistol, and it ran fine after that. That was a lot more snappy, a lot more authority going into battery. But if you get an SD9 VE, take it to the range and put a lot of rounds through it. Make sure it's going to run with no problems. That's another known. The Star Model B, I know NEA Matt's got one of those. Those are what, $299? Those $200? How much is the Star Model B, guys? What are those running these days? Are they $200? Your surplus Model B? I'm looking right now. Oh, you got your. I guess we haven't got to 38 special yet. We'll get there in a second, but let's see here. Yeah, Model Bs are $199. Good or very good, and you can get the hand pick if you want it for an extra $20. Tokarev, Squib, what do those Tokarevs usually run? M70s? Are those $249, Squib?
That's more than you might be able to find them under $300. Yeah, you might be able to find them under $300 on Classic from time to time. They mess around with the we got them in stock, and we're never going to have them again. And then a year later they got them, but you can't always risk that. I still haven't even shot mine. It's still brand new in the box, buried in the back of the safe somewhere. The mags are a little bit hard to find from time to time. I might only have 1 or 2 extra mags for that thing, but yeah, that way you can shoot the 9mm, which is affordable, because the Tokarev ammo is expensive. I mean, you can it's right around, on average, about $25 a box for Tokarev ammo. Sometimes you can find it for less. You can reload it for less, but I've had issues with my reloads. There's only about 4 bullets out there that I can find that'll fit it for one, and then I've had some issues. sourcing parts is also a little bit difficult. Zastava does not necessarily ship spare parts into the country. I've found that some of the stuff you might be able to use, like Wolf makes replacement springs for the Tokarev, that sort of thing. You might be able to interchange parts. RTG Parts is a good source for Tokarev parts, but it's another one of those, hey, I got a great deal on this. Wait, how much is ammo? So...
Oh, you can get, how much is the Red Army Standard Tokarev ammo? Because I think I've seen that at Cabela's.
I've never bought their Tokarev ammo. I've only bought, I think I bought a box of the 7.62x39 once, but I don't know. I can tell you that for me, because my son, that's his favorite handgun caliber, it's more affordable to reload, but it's just... I keep running into issues. I've gone onto YouTube and I found some other reloaders that have had issues too, and they've got some pointers. But there's also a few issues too with the gun, as far as I've been advised change out the recoil spring. Really, on all three? They're all three bad? No, I'm not buying that. Although it's not a bad idea to go ahead and change it out and polish the feed ramp and. So just understand that if you get a Tokarev pistol, you may have some issues running, and I've even had issues with factory ammo too. I would suggest getting PPU or Cellular and below, because they're reputable. Even though they're imported, their quality is really good.
Well, that's usually made in the Czech Republic, if I'm not mistaken. They might have multiple factories, but I think their ammo used to be made in the Czech Republic. Maybe it's Italy now. I'm not sure. SMB?
Well, they make good ammo. Some people might be turned off because it's imported, and I'm always preaching made in the USA, made in the USA. But I mean, you've already got a Milsurp gun, so.
Well, for some calibers, you might not have a choice. You might not be able to find a 7.62x25 domestic. You don't have a choice. So, but
for Tokarev ammo, they're the two most affordable ones. Their stuff is mil spec ish. I'm going to say the commercial ammo is not going to run as hot as the surplus ammo. You cannot reload the surplus ammo. The way they crimp that primer pocket, you're gonna break your decapping pin trying to deprime it to reload it. So if you buy the surplus ammo, it may be corrosive as well, but it will run hotter. You definitely feel it. It's a lot more snappy when you shoot it.
Okay. So a few more suggestions before I forget. Dead Horse on the Gun Channel side is suggesting the Walter Creed. I've seen those. I'm not kidding. I think it was $275 at DE Guns. .net online, and that's nice full size 9mm. I think those might come in a 40. I don't know. I know they're a 9mm. And Night Strike, why don't you share with us your favorite sub $300 handgun? I've been waiting to get to you on this one because I'd love to buy one. And they've been for sale for years. They're still out there. What do you suggest, Night Strike?
I don't know if there you can see that a Beretta 92 S. It's a sub $300 Beretta 92. Where else in the world are you going to get that? Only here in the United States.
Yeah, even a PT92, but you're not going to get a Beretta. You'd be getting a Taurus.
You're not going to get a $300 PT92 because it's still $400, and the Berettas are like $5 or $6.
Yeah, this is true. This is true.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Hey. You guys need to slow down because I can't keep up.
Tony, do you want to share anything with us, Tony? Your favorite 9mm? What works for you, Tony?
I'm using SD9, man.
Now, is that you have a VE also, right? You have a Sigma and a VE?
No. Yeah, I have both, the SW9 and
SW9.
SD9.
Okay. I always think of the SD9 when it's not the VE as a Sigma, but it's not. That's SW9. So, all right.
I actually like Sigma better than the SD.
Just the trigger, the feel? Is it just because yours is more broken in or what?
The gun doesn't have quite as rough a grip as the SD9.
Oh, yeah.
As far as cheap guns, the last cheap gun I bought was Heritage Rough Riders.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, those definitely came up in our 22. When we were talking about the 22s, that was definitely a good suggestion. So, Night Strike, I got a question. When you get those, is it just more holster wear than anything? Have they not been fired a lot from what you can tell? When you disassemble with the slides, what do you think?
Some of them are holster wear. Some of them have had use. There are a couple things you need to look for before you go off and just take one to the range. I would check the springs.
Okay.
You can get all standard springs for them. You're good with the springs. I would make sure that you have the steel guide rod. Make sure you have that, and also make sure that the locking block on the barrel is the newest locking block, like the Gen 3, because some of these are shipped with Generation 1 locking blocks for Beretta 92s, and those had a flaw in them where they would break, and the wings of the locking block would just break right off.
Oh, okay.
So you can the locking block, you can just use a standard 92 FS locking block on there. You'll be fine. You can even switch out a 92 FS guide rod if you can't get one for the 92S. So that's
a lot of parts interchangeability, which is nice. Now, go ahead.
With a few exceptions, like remember the 92S does not have the locking block, so you don't have the locking lever and the locking block pin and all that. You don't have any of that, so it's a little less safe. If the locking block's supposed to be for safe, anyways, I don't believe that, but I think it's just more gun control. But anyways, also remember that the magazine release is heel, so that's not going to be interchangeable with the 92 FS.
But Dead Horse just made a comment over here on the Gun Channel side that Fab Defense is making a grip with a mag release on it instead of heel release for the Beretta.
Well, if they do, I really would like to see that because I could use one.
Yeah, I mean so maybe it might be a good idea just invest in one of those 92S's now, so you have one under $300. Now, what about the magazines? Did you mention the magazines? You are limited to what? You can't. Yeah, what do you have to do? Yeah, if you don't want to finagle with
I'll show you guys.
All right,
because I've got one loaded right here, but don't mind that. All right.
So I mean, like, I don't want to talk about finagling 92 FS mags though. Okay.
You see that? You see that little cutout at the bottom?
Yep.
Beretta 92 mags. Usually there's a one right up here.
Yeah.
There's a release hole right here.
Yep. For the mag release for the grip.
If you find mags with both cutouts, it's fine. You can use them. Just make sure that the magazines you buy for the 92S have that rear cutout. Otherwise, you're going to be doing some drumming.
Yes.
So,
and then what does surplus mags cost for that? Or can you get new manufacturer mags for the 92S? Does Mechar make them or anybody?
Well, here as I mentioned before, so if you get them directly from Beretta will their 92 FS magazines are made new and have both cutouts.
Oh, okay.
But remember, always check before you buy that it has the bottom cutout on new manufacturer magazines, because if it doesn't have the cutout, as I said, you're going to be doing some drumming.
Okay. More suggestions coming over on the Gun Channel side. The best $300 9mm is a Canik TP9 SA or SF, any of the Canik series. I fired an SFX before. It's not bad. I don't want to get into the political debate whether or not you should buy Turkish guns, because my Midland backpacker is made in Turkey, right? And a lot of people will say that they want to wait and see how well the Caniks hold up if they're not.
You sell out, Travis.
Huh? What? No, I'm saying
sell out.
You make whatever choice you want to. I consider buying. I mean, you're getting a lot of gun for the money when you get the TP9 SF for what, $300. You're getting 2 or 3 mags with it. You get a holster with it. You get some cleaning supplies that come with it. So I've never fired a Canik before. I know they have the interchangeable back straps on the SF. I just don't know if I'd want to get one. There's nothing wrong with them. I mean, if that's the way you want to go. I know that they are carried by Turkish either police or military forces. It's kind of their standard issue sidearm. So I mean, that's something to consider too if you want to go that route. Let's see if we have any more suggestions for 9mm over on the Gun Channel side. Or the YouTube side, everybody's saying, oh, Ruger EC9S. Gary, you mentioned this one before. Oh, here's another good one. Mubut, the P89. Best budget 9. I love the P-Series Rugers from back in the 90s. I think they sold them up until the mid-2000s. Like the P95, P93, P89. Those are all great. In my opinion, those are like the AK-47 of handguns, because they're just big, just beefy, robust pistols that, they don't have the tightest tolerances, but they will run through anything. I love the P-Series Rugers, which you could probably pick those up used for $250, $275, depending on the condition. Trigger Tickler's asking, what are we talking about? So, Trigger, we're running through, for anybody just joining us here, sub $300 cheap handguns, new or used. We hadn't really got into revolvers yet. Let's bump up now from 9mm to 10mm. I don't think you can get into a 10mm for $300 or less. I'm hoping somebody can fact check me on that. With that being said, and we mentioned this before in the pre-chat before we went live, I wish High Point would get their button gear and make a 10mm handgun. I can't imagine it would be that hard to do. They wouldn't have to do a lot of re-engineering on their frames or platforms. I would buy a 10mm High Point. I don't even need one. I just think it would be fun to have in the collection. Where else are you going to get a 10mm for under $200? That's going to run. You know, and especially if they have magazine compatibility between their carbines and the pistol itself. I just think that would just be awesome, in my opinion. You know, my first real handgun, my first personal pistol that I bought was a Gen 2 Glock G20. And I love that thing, but I just couldn't afford to shoot it. I mean, it was 10mm was so pricey back then. There was a lot less options. Didn't have internet to buy ammo from back in the day. And I love the 10mm. I just wish that High Point would hurry up and get one in production. They hinted at it in one of the SHOT Show videos that I watched with one of the guys from Gun Channel. They were interviewing the High Point reps, and they had said that they're discussing or in the process of talking about making a 10mm pistol. I think that would be really cool. But does anybody know, is there an option to get into 10mm for $300 or less? I don't think so. I think you're probably looking at least $400 to $500, probably $500 if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I can't find anything. Skipping 40. No, 40's coming up. We'll get to 40. We're not going to skip 40. You guys are talking about that on there. So 10mm, we'll go ahead and just pass on that. I don't want to dismiss it, but you might be able to find a used G20, maybe $400. I don't know. I've never really looked for one before. Okay, now let's move up because you have a lot of options here. 38 special, 357 mag. We're going to be looking at revolvers now. So what do you guys have for suggestions for sub $300 revolvers? Any suggestions on that one?
Taurus.
What, the P85, Model 85? Model 85, okay.
Yep, I got one of those.
I had a Taurus poly protector, little snubby that was chambered in 357 mag. You got to watch out though because they market it as a 357 mag version, but then there's a 38 special version only. So there's two different ones that they make. I had the 357 mag. I didn't keep it very long because I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with it, but I'm sure it's a great gun if you practice with it. It had little high vis sights up on the top. You've also got the Rock Island Armory revolvers, which you can get for $250 or less. Yeah. I saw that Davidson's Gallery of Guns is advertising one right now for, I think, $250. It's right on their main page when you go there. So you do have an option for that for your 38 special. Or 350. I love 357 Magnum. That's one of my favorites. Kind of wish Tony was with us right now because he might be able to make some suggestions. Squib, Nice Ride, AWAG, any suggestions on 38 special, 357 Mag?
Maybe
really,
Taurus is about the cheapest.
No.
I can check here real quick and see what's out there. But your Rock Island. Sometimes you can get those Rock Island ones on sale. Now that's just going to be 38 special, but you can shoot your plus P ammunition through it also.
You're going to pay a premium just because it's a wheel gun. I mean, wheel guns just cost more. I don't know if there's more involved in the fit and finish or whatever it is. And I'm not knocking revolvers. I love revolvers.
Yeah.
But I think in general, you're just going to, I mean, with the exception of go to the Heritage site. They do make that Rough Rider in 38 special, and they do make it in 45 long cold. But I can't believe that it's going to be under $300. Yeah, they've even got some Target models and stuff like that with adjustable sights and stuff like that. I mean, your gun dealer would have to order something like that for you. I've never seen anything other than their 22 long rifle in stores, but they do. Because if you go on there, they're going to have small bore and large bore. And if you go on large bore, I know that's 45 long Colt. That might be where the 38 special is as well. But I doubt it's under $3.
Now I'm looking at the Rock Islands over here on Gallery of Guns over at Davidson's. They do make a concealed hammer version of it. It's a little expensive, but because it has like a brushed nickel finish. But here I'm looking at a brand new 38 special Rock Island Armory revolver, $208, not including taxes. So 208 gets you into 38 special, just a little 1.5 inch, 2 inch barrel on it. That little concealed model.
How much is an LCR? Everybody's got an LCR, but except me. How much are those?
I don't think they're very cheap. Are they around $400? I don't know. I can look real quick and let you know.
Yeah,
I was checking prices last night.
You're not going to find a new one under 300.
Okay, LCR. Let's just do a quick scan. I'm seeing MSRP 579, 669 if you want the Crimson Trace model, 579. I'm going to say 450 unless you find one on sale. Yeah, 579. Now that's MSRP. You can knock up to what, 100, $150 off that price, and that's going to be your street price or your gun store price. But yeah, I'm going to say probably 450 for an LCR.
Okay, never mind that.
Like you said, you're going to pay a bit of a premium for a wheel gun. You just tend to, except for just like your Rock Island or your Taurus options. But yeah, the Taurus 85 would be a good one to get into. I'm not sure what those run, but I'm sure you can get into one for under $300. Oh, there's also the my God, I'm drawing a blank. Help me out here, guys. That's the German-made revolver that comes in
the White Rock.
The Corth?
No. What is that? It's a 357 mag that comes in a 4-inch or 4-inch or like
the Vindicator.
Yeah, the Windicator.
The Vindicator. Well,
I can't remember who makes that,
though.
Though.
German because the W is German, but the
EAA.
Oh, EAA imports those. Okay, so your Windicator. Yeah. I've seen those for $300 at my local at SS Pawn.
I've seen them for less than that.
You can pick them up at $299 at Academy right now.
What's funny about those?
In some instances, them being like $269 as well.
Okay, here I'm looking at a 357 mag with the longer barrel. MSRP 392. You can get into Windicator from Gallery of Guns for $307, not counting tax. For the long barrel version, if you want the 4-inch barrel version. The only thing I've read about those, you have to be careful when you tighten the grip screw in it. If you tighten it too tight, I don't know, something happens that can actually cause a problem with the action of the gun. That's one thing I read about.
It probably blocks or obstructs the spring.
Okay, so that's one thing you got to watch out for if you have it. I don't know if that's a reason not to buy it. Just one or two people complained about that I saw.
Don't over tighten the screws ever on your hand.
Yes. Period. I mean, the one person did it because their grip was getting loose and they had to tighten it. Now you can get the snubby version for $291. So that'll get you into 357 mag on the cheap, and then you can shoot your 38 special through that also.
And nix what I said on the Rough Rider. Brownell's got Heritage Rough Rider 357 Magnum 4 3/4-inch barrel for $410.99. So yeah, you're not going to get their bigger bore revolver for under $3.
Okay. So that's going to be out, but again, there's a lot of cool options out there for your 38 special. Somebody's saying, Matt Sexy saying, look up a Savage Model 64F. Okay, are we talking? Because we'll be moving over to the budget shooting long range discussion here in just a little bit. Oh, I see what that is. Yeah, that's your 22 semi-auto. Okay, let's move up to 40 cal. Now we're going to echo a lot of 40 cal that we said with the 9mm because a lot of the guns are, cross-platform. You can get the SC9VE, the SD40. You can get the Taurus PC111 G2, G2C in 9 or 40, and usually you're not going to pay much of a premium to go to the 40 route. Only thing I will say, sometimes it's a little bit harder to find the mags in 40 versus 9mm, just in general for a lot of these guns that I look at. 40 cal, any suggestions, guys, for budget price 40s other than, say, High Point, SD9VE? I think Taurus did make a PT92 in 40 at one point that you could buy in the USA, but I haven't seen one for quite a while. Suggestions for 40 guys? Say, you guys on the YouTube and gun channel side, if you want to throw some 40 cal suggestions out there, do that. You might say, why go 40 cal? Why not? I'll tell you what, right now, whenever there's a gun scare and people start panic buying, there's usually 40 on the shelves, whereas your 9 and your 380s tend to sell out. Police trading Glocks, 350 all day long. Yep.
If you're caliber confused, go 40. I mean, if you're really just trying to find your identity, it's okay. It's okay.
Now, Jumpy saying 10mm for life. Yes, Jumpy, but we can't get into 10mm for under $300. We had mentioned that you could get the High Point 10mm carbine, and if High Point would hurry up and get their button gear and get their pistol into production, their 10mm, everybody would buy one. I'm just saying. Let's see. There's a ton of Smith & Wesson Model 10s used on the market for $299. Blue Label Glock 23, M&P 40. There we go. Your M&Ps. You can get your police trade in M&Ps usually for $350, sometimes a little bit less. Glock 22 LEO trade-ins. Okay, so we have some options for 40. So you can't get into
$300. You're not.
For what? Oh, no, not the Glocks and M&Ps. No, you're going to have trouble finding those. Maybe you might find a private one for $300 or less, private sale.
Maybe.
possibility if you look around some of the, but a lot of people tend to want to ask the same price as retail. Jumpy says I would waffle stomp a 40 Smith & Wesson if I get the chance. Again, Jumpy, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of a gold dot calibered or chambered in 40. So 10 millimeter too expensive. The thing is, a 10 millimeter becomes the new Renaissance round that everybody buys because of High Point. Everybody buying the gun. You'll get more ammo into production. We can make 10 millimeter great again. So, okay, so that's it for 40. Like we said, it echoes a lot of 9. Not to dismiss it, but if you get something in 9, there's a good chance you can get it 40, especially your semi-autos. Your Ruger SR series are going to be more than 300, but you can get, again, like I said, the 9E, which you can't get into 40, but the 9Es are under 300. 44 mag. Can we get into 44 mag for $300 or less? Ooh, man, that's a tough one. You might be able to get something maybe in a pawn shop.
I
or a
don't
gun
even
store,
think you
but
can get a Charter Arms Bulldog for that price. I mean,
let me
and
check.
I'm trying to
see
think
here.
if they ever made it in Magnum. I think they made it special, but
I'm doing a search
yeah,
here on
I
Gallery
don't think
Guns.
so. Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Because I did test a Rossi 44 mag, but it was still over $300 on the used market because it wasn't in production anymore. Guys, make some suggestions out there for 44 mags that you think we can pick up on the cheap. I don't know if that's going to be possible. Here, let me see if I can find a.
You can get a rifle under 300. That's the only thing I'm finding.
True. Okay, here's Charter Arms Bulldog. Okay, 418.
That's pushing it.
Yeah, let's check and see what that is. Now that's MSRP. Let's see what out the door is going to cost us here. So Charter Arms Bulldog, 2.5-inch barrel. Oh, that's going to sting. Let's see here. Let's see what we get for the price on that. $373 without tax. So, that's probably going to be your absolute bottom of the barrel entry level option that you can get. I'm just seeing if anybody else has mentioned anything about the 44 mag. It is an expensive round to shoot. You're looking at about $35 a box, so just keep that in mind. Used Rock Island 1911 runs $200, give or take. Yeah, okay, we'll get to 45 here in a sec. So let's go from 44 mag up to 45 ACP. Night Strike, you got another. Night Strike's gone. He dropped out.
Oh no.
I don't. Okay, maybe he'll come back here in a sec. Night Strike does have an ATI 1911. We were talking 1911s on Match Chat Wednesday night. Go watch that because I don't remember if that was before the show, after, or during. We were talking about all the options out there. You can get. They were mentioning some ATIs or Rock Island 1911s that were like $375. So go online, just do a filtered search for the caliber you want to buy in 45 ACP, and you'd be amazed at the sub $400 options that are out there because we were looking at a ton of them. You can get into a 1911 for under $400. I had a Rock Island Armory, just basic GI model, and I kind of regret selling that. But guys, you want to throw some options out there? Again, High Point, $160, $150. Any suggestions for 45 ACP?
So are we staying under 3 or under 4?
Yeah, let's go 3 or less. Yeah. Oh, I guess I was talking out of my head when I was mentioning the 1911. You can probably get yourself a used Rock Island for 300.
You might. Unless you could pick up a used car or something like,
Yeah, you might be able to pick up a CT. I don't know if they make a CT 45.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
And brand new, that's $350. So you would think you could pick up a used one. Also, an RP 45 Remington, you could probably pick up if it's still fire.
Eric says Taurus makes a good 45. Actually, not sure what model. Yeah, the PT 1911, if I'm not mistaken. I did test one of those on my channel.
You weren't going to get that under 300.
No. Yeah, I think those were $400. Low, upper 300s. I think is what you're going to pay for the basic model. In which case, I would just say maybe go for Rock Island. Yeah, and the Rock Islands are made in the Philippines. Just to answer that question, if anybody's kind of curious, they've been around for a real long time.
My PT 1911, I picked up used and paid $419 for it.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
New, they're $499 on up.
Okay.
The stainless slides I saw one yesterday, $570. I wasn't going to quite go that high for it. Besides, it had a rail, and I don't like rails on my 1911s. So.
Okay. Just looking at the car, I can't find a new 45 ACP for sale. So there might be something out there.
They had one. I'm on Academy's website right now looking. I found one for $349.
Okay, that's not bad. Okay, I did find the CT45. It popped up. $449 MSRP. We're looking at probably 350, 340 without tax. So I would just say just spring for a 1911 if you're going to do it. Just go for Rock Island, or just save up and get whatever you want for a nice solid 1911. So you got that option.
And that's just it, Travis. I think that for some of this stuff, this is your entry level gun. I'm new to guns. I'm working a minimum wage job. I want to get out to the range and get shooting. And this is all I can really afford. What can I get? And then as you progress, both with shooting and career-wise, you can afford better stuff. You want better stuff. But some of this stuff, I mean, we're getting up in these higher calibers. Not only you're paying more for ammo, but you're really just not going to find it. This is, you know, you don't just start off with 9mm because the recoil's lower and the ammo's cheaper, but that may be all you can afford. And there's nothing wrong with 9. You could have used 9 for the rest of your life. You know, your first gun could be the same gun that you're still using to defend your life, you know, when you're a senior citizen. But as you progress, though, you're going to, if you're really into shooting, you are just going to start spending more and more and more. Mm-hmm. So just be ready for the reality of it. And it's not a bad thing either.
Definitely. All right. Okay, so I think we've pretty much gone through the main calibers. Hopefully we've covered most everything. 45 long Colt. I don't know if you can get into that for 300 or less. You might be able to find. Heritage might make a revolver that you could get for 300 or less. I don't know. It's going to be kind of a tough
if they're 357 is 410, then the 45 long Colt's going to be in that price range. Yeah.
Last one on 45 ACP. Gary, you and I both. I owned a 45 High Point. My old man has it. Gary, do you have one, or did you sell it? Or
I had one. My son-in-law ended up talking me out of it, and I used that as an excuse to buy that first 1911. It's like, I got to have another 45.
Definitely.
That was my gateway into 45 ACP. I wanted to try it out. So I bought that High Point and found out I absolutely love shooting the caliber. So it's like, okay, I'm ready to move up into something a bit more expensive. So.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Last thing on 45, Paper Plane Crash on the gun channel side is saying he's got an ATI Titan. I'd recommend going Rock Island for the little extra over ATI. There you go. And like I said, I had a Rock Island GI model. Don't know why I sold it. I bought it, took it to the range a couple times. I don't know if I was having a 45 bug or what the deal was, but I went ahead and sold it. Probably should have kept it. I'll probably go back to one at some point. So, all right. So that closes out our segment on cheap handguns, $300 or less. I'm sure I missed something. I'll probably be reminded on one of the chat sides here. Kimber, haha. No. All right. So moving on, budget long range shooting. Okay. So we got 3 of us in the panel, myself included. I picked 6.5 Creedmoor just because you're going to be amazed at how cheap you can get into 6.5 Creedmoor. We're talking budget long range shooting, 1,000 yards or more. Okay, now Midnight Range did share the specs for me with his model. Now, when we say budget, I'm going to try to find the least expensive 1,000 yard capable rifle that I can. We're not really going to talk surplus necessarily. We want to talk something that's a modern bolt action that you could put a rail on. I guess you could maybe do semi-auto. If you could find something that would do the job. But AWAG, let's start off with you. What is your suggestion for a budget long range rifle? We say budget's whatever you want to make it to be. I found 6.5 Creedmoor for under $325. So I'm sure my model when I get there. What do you think, bud?
All right, with 6.5 Creedmoor, it's a little interesting. It's a great cartridge. Don't get me wrong. I think it's overused. 6mm Creedmoor, I think, is better. It's a smaller round, but it's a lot better performer at those longer ranges. Stays stable for longer. Has a much lower, or should I say, a much flatter trajectory. I don't really like using that, but it's to get the point across. But yeah, you can pick up the Axis and 6.5. Bergera makes a 6.5 tactical rifle or something along those lines for like $700. I think you can see them for like $650 out the door. But if you want to go extreme long range, Savage has an offering that, if I can screen share, there we are. Savage has an offering, the 112 Magnum Target. It's 3.38 Lapua Magnum. It's only a single shot though, so if you can deal with that, then you're good. It uses their 111 bolt, the receiver. So anything that fits a 111 will fit this. So you can basically put whatever scope you want on it. Their MSRP is $1177, but you can pick them up at like Cabela's for like $980, which is still sub $1,000. And if you live in a tax-free state like Delaware or one of those states that doesn't do sales tax, then this would be a great sub $1,000 long range performer. And 338 Lapua Magnum might drain your bank account when it comes to ammunition, but
Nonsense.
it's a single shot, so it's not gonna like blast through 60 rounds. It's gonna make you take your time with it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, what about 308? You and Midnight Range have the same rifle. Do you have a 308?
To tell you the truth, I don't have that rifle anymore.
Midnight Range, he's going to be disappointed. It was a Savage FPC, is that correct?
No, it's a Savage Model 10 FCP SR, which is their suppressor ready model.
Now, one thing I want to say about this, if we mention something in 308, you might say, what about 6.5? Or if you mention 6.5, what about 308? A lot of these rifles that we're going to mention, they're you can get them in a 308 or 6.5 or 270 or 243 for the same price. And very little price difference.
If you're new to precision rifle shooting, 6.5 Creedmoor makes it super easy. But if you actually want to learn what wind and what basically gravity can do to your rifle, I would suggest getting a 308. Ammunition is slightly cheaper. It's more prevalent. And anything that's chambered in 308 can use 7.62 by 51. So you have that military surplus availability as well. So I honestly think that a 308 is a little better of an option.
Okay. So there's nothing wrong with that. And we're looking at a gun that can reach out to 1,000 yards. That was the standard I wanted to set.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. And, a lot of these, what really blew my mind is a lot of these were coming with 22-inch barrels, fluted barrels. And it was, and we're talking, when I suggest my list here for 6.5 Creedmoor, all these can be had in a 308 also for basically the same price. But I just picked Creedmoor because it's a popular round right now and it'll go 1,000 plus. But yeah, you got a good point about the ammo, man. I mean, the fact that you can get 20 rounds of PPU 308 at Cabela's for $10, brass, mind you, to get started, just to get into it without having to break the bank on ammo. Like I said, that was a problem I had with my Glock G20 is I couldn't afford to shoot it because 10 millimeter ammo, the selection was so limited where I could buy it where I was living, and it was an expensive box of ammo. Could go to the range maybe once a month, maybe once every other month on a college budget. So yeah, 308 definitely a good suggestion. The 338 Lapua, you might say, man, $1,000 is crazy, but if you look at other 338 Lapua options, it's hard to find a sub $1,000 precision rifle. So that's definitely something that you can go into. Any other suggestions, AWAG? What about what's the max range you've ever gotten out of your 223 5.56?
I've taken the 20-inch AR that I built a while back. I took that out to 710 yards. I was hitting a man-sized steel target, 710 yards pretty regularly. Now, granted, it was a very calm day on a shielded range, essentially.
Yeah, something I never get access to. I'm like shooting across a flat prairie with a 30-mile-an-hour crosswind, but so it can reach out there. Now, what about your Howa?
Howas are definitely a good contender. Brownells has what is it? They have the barrel to actions that you can get a tactical stock. You can build one that uses AR-15 like stocks and grips and stuff. You can get one of those and build it for around $900.
Okay.
Not including a price of a scope though. So scopes are a different question.
We won't even have, we've done optics discussions before. Optics are whatever your budget's going to allow, whatever you think you can afford and whatever brand you want to get. So that's, we're getting you into the rifle. We're not talking about the optics because that's whatever you need for whatever you're going to be shooting, whatever distance, Cool. Okay, Gary, let's move on to you. Do you have any suggestions for a long range rifle on the cheap?
No, I don't. That's kind of out of my league. I don't own anything like that. So
we're going to give you some suggestions. We're going to give the son-in-law another one of your rifles. That'll give you an excuse to go out and buy one of these, and then you can get into it. Come on, you got the Kansas Prairie. You can shoot for miles and not hit anything where you live, right?
I know, right?
You need a long range rifle. You don't know if that coyote's going to be over on the neighbor's crop lot over there, maybe attacking the chickens, and you got to stop him. But he's 1,000 yards away. What are you going to do? What are you going to
That's
do, Gary?
true. Well, one of these days, I'm new into this, so I can
Yeah.
move into that someday.
There we go. We're not trying to be pushy or anything. Buy one, but you definitely should look into getting one. Buy one, but I mean, really, seriously, Gary. Anyway, I'll shut up.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
good.
All right, no problem, man. All right, so Squib, what would you suggest for getting into long range shooting?
AR-15.
Okay, and like AWAG said, you can get yourself your 20-inch model. You can take it out to 700 yards.
Not even that. You can get a 16-inch heavy barrel model that's a little more stiff. You can take that out to 600-700 yards pretty easily if you have a 1-7 twist and you run a pretty heavy bullet.
What are we talking for?
Iron sights, the iron sights on my AR-15A2 go out to 800 meters. With an optic, you can go out further. Here's the thing. You don't need an expensive caliber. You can buy accuracy to a point. There are different things you can do to the firearm to help it to be more accurate. There are different things you can do with the ammo to help it be more accurate. The best thing, get out there and learn how to shoot people.
Exactly.
Quit shooting targets at 10 yards, rapid fire, and calling yourself some sort of marksman, and get out there and actually learn the principles and learn how to shoot. And with a caliber like 223 Remington, you're going to be putting a lot of lead downrange over a long period of time. So 223 Remington is affordable. So you can use that AR-15. You can change out the upper and do all kinds of different things with it to make it your truck gun or your home defense gun or your hunting rifle or whatever it is. But if you want to use it for long-range shooting with irons or with an optic, it's a great option because of how versatile the platform is. It's proven. And you can use the 5.56, 223 affordably, accurately, effectively. It's just a matter of training and then practice. And if you haven't practiced in a while, you know what to do, but you just haven't been out to the range for a while, get back out to the range. That's been my biggest hurdle, is having the time to get out to the range and really shoot like I used to shoot a long time ago. And there's lots of guys out there that know what to do.
Yeah. Why don't you move to Nebraska? Just move in next door. There's a house for sale up the street, and then we'll carpool every weekend.
So here's the thing. You're just as cold as we are in the winter.
I know. Isn't that great? It would be no change for you. It'd be perfect.
No. I got to get out of the cold. But otherwise, though, the landscape is more appealing. I actually think I like where you live better. Okay, we got lakes all over the dang place. I ain't got no boat, right?
We have two.
So, yeah. Well,
you can go when you want to.
Those are ponds. Those are puddles. So, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Obviously, compared to what you got up in Michigan, but right.
Yeah. But I think I would rather have all those cornfields than what we got here. To tell you, you know what? I grew up down south with trees and woods and all that stuff, and I've had my fill of it. I'm ready for something a little bit more open.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the biggest thing is people try to buy accuracy, and people try to get whatever's on the cover of American Rifleman or whatever an article in Guns and Ammo says they should get, or what somebody who has a sponsor who pays their ammo budget and their travel budget and their training budget and goes to different places and shoots competitively or shoots like as a stunt shooter or something to go, oh, I want that. Yeah, it's a great way. It's a great marketing thing to sell ammo and guns. But the thing is, if you don't practice, you're not going to get good and stay good. And there's plenty of people that let's just throw lead down range as fast as we can, and that's fun for them. Yeah. Okay, that's great, yeah. but just get out there and practice.
Okay, Squib, did you make suggestions for a rifle? Any suggestions for budget long range? Anything you could think of? I got a list here that I'll share, but I'll let you go first.
No, seriously, I was serious about the AR-15.
Okay, no, yeah, your AR. Okay, you mentioned the AR, and then not to mention the different
bolt action. There's so many good ones out there, but if you want to really reach out with them, I think they're going to start getting probably. I mean, what sort of price range are you talking?
Oh, I can get into a 6.5 Creedmoor for $307.
Okay, but how much is 6.5 Creedmoor the ammo?
Oh yeah, but the thing is, what I'm going to mention is all these rifles I'm going to mention are also in 308. Some of them in 0.6. So you've got the same exact price. I just took 6.5 because it goes past 1,000 yards. So
Okay,
yeah,
then I'll
I
second
will-
whatever
I will-
rifle that you
Yeah.
pick. But I'll in 308 or 30-06 then.
Yeah, I just did 6.5 for fun. I mean, you can get these in 5 or 6 different calibers, some of them even more. So depending on what you want to shoot. So that's a good point, though. The ammo is going to be a big one. Real quick, AWAG, without getting into an optics discussion, there was a question Jumping wanted to know, what scope are you using that'll let you get out to your 223 out to 700 yards? What are you running for a scope?
It is a SWFA Super Sniper fixed 6 power.
Okay, so there you go.
You
That should
can
answer
pick
the
those
question.
up on swfa.com. I can't stress enough that I love those scopes absolutely so much. I put a 10 power on my Howl Mini Action. I do plan on taking that out to 800 sometime soon.
Now, Sean Ponnery's mentioning that his Enfield #1 Mark III apparently can reach out to 2,000 yards, and 303 isn't exactly expensive. Yeah, we're not ruling out surplus guns at all. I just wanted to stick with modern bolt-action rifles.
You don't shoot down to 2,000, just not very accurately.
Man, just lob them.
You're gonna. You are. With those, you actually are. On some of those, they had what they call volley sights. Excuse me. They had volley sights mounted to the side, and you would actually lob in ammo. And if you had enough guys using those volley sights, shooting at a point target, and with that 10-round mag, whereas everybody else only had 5 or 6 rounds, they actually fooled the Germans in World War I into thinking that they were getting hit with machine gun fire when it was just a whole bunch of guys with Enfields.
Just dropping lead on them. Yeah.
Well, at the time, only machine guns had that rate of fire in that sort of range, and that's not entirely accurate. But on Mausers and Enfields and Mosins and things like that, you're going to have these old trench rifle sights that will reach out that far, but you're talking about a man-sized target. You're not talking about hitting a 6-inch gong. And you're still talking about a lot of variables, and probably not. The military people at the time were really ambitious. It was later on that they realized over time the engagements are getting closer and closer and closer. I mean, I would say that modern engagements are 300 to 400 meters or less, typically less. But, I mean, you got to look at the mindset of the people back then. But those rifles, the cartridges have the power to reach.
Yeah, Sean Ponnery says the Enfield 303 has minute of bus accuracy. So, all right. So here's kind of the closing comment. Well, I mean, I'm going to move on to myself and share my list. But Black Hat Outdoors says if you're serious about long range shooting, ammo price is kind of a moot point. You're going to be reloading for it anyway. So there you go. I mean, that's another good one right there. If you're going to be really dialing in that round, especially if you're doing competition, long distance shooting, accuracy testing, or not testing, but accuracy competition, 1,000 yards plus. Yeah, it's a good point. Reloading is probably what you're going to do anyway. So you're not going to really do so much about the ammo price.
That's part of what I mean about over time to start to get more and more expensive, and you need to be prepared for that if you're going to take it seriously. You may go, holy crap, look at my budget for ammo, or holy crap, we've got another ammo shortage. I can't find this anymore. And next thing you know, you're into reloading. And then once you go down that rabbit hole, it's a whole nother money pit. But I can tell you as a reloader, and Midnight Range TM's doing a reload chat tomorrow night at 10:30 Eastern, by the way. As a reloader, it's fun. I wish I had more time for it, but it's another expense. It can get to the point where it's, do I get another gun or do I invest more into my reloading stuff? That's how much but when you're doing this sort of thing, when you're serious about it, you're going for long range accuracy, or you're trying to make it affordable for a family of 4 to go out shooting all together. It's definitely something. So yeah, if getting in long range shooting gets you into reloading, it's a good thing.
Now, real quick, I want to share this before I forget. Midnight Range did send me some pictures of his rifle, and I want to show you what he's running and what he has. So real quick, he's got the Savage FPC FCP SR 308 24-inch threaded barrel, Vortex Viper 6.5 to 20 by 44 optic, Vortex Sunshade, VG6 Gamma Brake, Vortex Tactical Rings, lapped, Quake Industries Claw Sling, Vortex Bubble Level, UTG 9 to 12-inch bipod, and a shell holder. So let's take a look at this bad boy, and I can show you what it looks like. You guys see that all right? Can you guys see that okay? You're good?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Just double check. I didn't hear anybody.
I can, now I can. Yeah.
So we're looking at sub $1,000, but this would be one heck of a competition rifle, in my opinion. You got the fluted barrel. There's the break on the front. So you have, and again, the nice thing is you can start off with a relatively inexpensive rifle that you could use for a deer gun or whatever. And then you can slowly upgrade it as time goes on. I believe he's got an oversized bolt on that also. So again,
That comes
lots of options there. Okay. All right. So just to show you, I mean, you have a lot of options. Okay. So let me go ahead and share my list with you guys real quick. What I was recommending if you want to get into 6.5. What we have here, first of all, again, everything I'm going to mention is available in 308. Most of them in 30-06, 243, 270, 222, 250 Swift, whatever. First of all, if you can find one, I had a Remington 710 chambered in 243, but you can get them in 308 and 30-06. It's it's a polymer stock. It's got the gray stock. It's kind of a controversial gun, but it is absolutely fine. You can get these for like 250 or less in a lot of pawn shops or gun stores. You can get those in 308. That's a Remington 710. But now let's get back to 6.5 Creedmoor. Just looking around, starting on the looking at different price points here. Mossberg Patriot, 350. Most of these come with a rail. You got to get your own optic, but a lot of these are sold as a package where you can get an entry-level scope or a Vortex scope. There's 2 or 3 companies that offer that option here right from the factory, so it's ready to go when you get it, other than, say, a bipod, right? So 6.5 Creedmoor, Mossberg Patriot for $350. Thompson Compass for $346, which you might want to look at that and see what you think about the fit and finish on it if you think it's something you want. Savage Axis 6.5 Creedmoor for $307. I mean, that's really tempting to get into 6.5. But then also don't rule out that PSA has been lowering the price. Now we're going to get away from 6.5 Creedmoor for a second here. And there are lots of 6.5 Creedmoor uppers out there. PSA was advertising the 224 Valkyrie for $349 for a complete upper with a 20-inch barrel, if I'm not mistaken. No, it might be a 16. But either way, if you want to get into 224 Valkyrie, that's one of your least expensive options. Also, somebody did mention the Remington 700, 308 on sale at I think maybe Academy for $399. So I'm trying to give you some sub $400 options here if you want to get into 6.5 Creedmoor. But again, third time I'll say it, most of these are available in 308, if not all. So you've got that option, and there's going to be very little price difference between the calibers. I mean, usually you'll see a difference because of a different finish in the stock, or one comes outfitted with an optic, the other one does not. So that's one way that you can get into it. So that might be something to consider if you've got the range and you've got the distance. Our range goes out to 2,000 yards. I know at least 1,800, if not 2,000 yards. And you have a special tower that you shoot out of with a closed circuit camera system. And the 6.5 Creedmoor, when they do we have this thing called the Steel Gong Challenge, and they've got, you shoot at different distances all the way out to 12 or 1,400 yards, and the 6.5 Creedmoor wins it every time. So that's just kind of my plug for that caliber. Again, not exactly inexpensive to shoot, but if you get into doing your own reloading and you have the equipment, it's a way to get into without breaking the bank. So that's kind of my little take on getting into long range shooting. Now, when you get into optics, it's whatever you want to spend. Get yourself an entry level Amazon scope for $40, all the way up to whatever, $4,000, $5,000 optics. You start looking at Steiner and Swarovski and all those other companies and Night Force, right? So again, that's kind of whatever your budget allows. But if you just want to get the rifle to get started, okay, that's one way that you can do it. Any final thoughts on that? Budget long range shooting? We didn't really talk about gear, bipods. I mean, that stuff's just all nominal. You could use a sandbag if you don't have a bipod. Any thoughts at all before we move on to the final segment?
Most of the time, I don't even use a bipod.
Okay.
Bags, man, bags. Greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, there you go. Nice and stable, cheap, readily available. So that's kind of my little take on it. I haven't really been looking at the comments here on the YouTube side because I was going through everything, see if there's anybody else makes any suggestions. 224 Valkyrie burns up a barrel's bore. Jumpy maybe depends on the steel. If you get a 4150, it might hold up. See, it's the same thing with 243. I've read that you can burn out a 243 barrel within a couple thousand rounds.
Well, that's like 6.5 Creedmoor as well. It's
okay.
Round that.
Yeah. That's kind of like my Ruger Ranch in 762 by 39. I'm probably going to wear out that barrel at some point because every time I go, I put 100 rounds through because it's so dang cheap, Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to the final section. So the last section, I kind of wish we had a few more people joining us, but it's all good. We'll have some fun with this one. You got my list ready here. Top 5 bucket list guns. We'll just run it through the panel, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you guys over in the chat, if you want to make your suggestions, go right ahead. Let's see here. Oh, Jim is just apologizing for not making it. Jim Burgess, that's okay. Jim, you're with us a lot. What's that?
This ain't a bracket, is it?
No bracket. You tell me your top 5. We'll just do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See if we have any champions that come out of this one. We might be surprised with our number 1. No, we're not going to bracket it. Quick countdown. Top 5 bucket list guns. If you could buy any, just guns. I don't care what they are. Whatever you want yourself an aircraft gun, fine. Whatever you want to get, howitzer, I don't care. That's up to you. So let's go ahead and start this one off real quick. Let me get back to my my camera view here. So AWAG, we'll start off with you. What's your number 5?
Oh man, sorry, I was playing a little bit of Need for Speed Shift 2.
Go ahead, man.
Game. My number 1 actually is.
Oh no, let's go from least to most, like that you want. Can we start at your least, like the one that's at the bottom of the list, or the one that you would
my least favorite?
Save your number 1. Yeah, we'll go least favorite to most favorite. Yeah.
All right. So it's this here. Let me It is a Accuracy International AX338 Lapua Magnum. But as you can see, the price tag is a little bit out of my price range, but this is a bucket list gun, so who cares?
There you go, $8,426. Just sell the Supra. You'll have enough money after that.
No.
All right. We're gonna keep this one moving. Gizzard Gary, what's your number 5?
How about let's say just about any AK.
Okay. You want to go like an Arsenal, something kind of on the higher end?
Sure, let's go for that.
Okay. Go for an Arsenal, because you can spend whatever you want on those. All right. Okay. Squib, what's your number 5?
Barrett M82.
Ooh,
But he's got to go for the Barrett.
Okay, my number 5 is
You said bucket list guns. It is something that I could conceivably purchase. However, for the price, I mean, I could buy so many other things, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. I'd have to get a 50 cal reload press though.
Okay. Yeah, at what, $3 or $4 a round, you might be I don't know. Okay, my number 5 is the FNP 90. Obviously, the short barrel full auto version of it. I love the PS 90. Love to have a P90. That'd be a lot of fun to play with. Okay, so we had no matches on that one. We all had something unique. Number 4, AWAG.
Geez, I have.
Are you driving to school right now? Are you driving to school?
I'm driving Lotus Elise. Sorry. Let's see.
There we go.
Yes, Russian SVD Tiger Dragonov.
X54R. Okay.
Yep, and this is actually
Nice.
one of the cheaper ones. Yeah, so these can go anywhere from like this much to 10,000 to 100,000 for the real military SVDs.
Oh my God. Okay, so that's definitely a bucket list gun. I like that. Gary, number 4.
Well, I gave you the AK, so let's throw in the AR, and you name the brand, whatever's a good expense.
I'm trying to think of what's. Oh man, help me out here. Oh, the guy that was killed off by Big Pharma. Noveski. Yeah, there we go. Noveski. Noveski's awesome. I like Black Rain Ordnance. We'll go for higher end AR.
Hey,
Gary.
get him a Taurus AR-15. They're overpriced.
I think
but
Christensen
they
Arms
took
does
them out of
ARs too.
production.
You can find those Taurus. They're like the TP4A or whatever they're called. Yeah, the Taurus ARs, which were like $900, $1,000.
Did they ever build any though? Because
I've seen them for sale. I've seen them for sale. They made them for a while. I believe that they use them for the Brazilian military, the full auto version, because sometimes I look at Taurus's catalog, the Portuguese catalog, the Brazilian catalog for their local market guns, because they've got submachine guns that they make and stuff like that. I've seen them for sale on Gunbroker. They have been out there, but they were $800 or $900, and you could basically get the same thing from PSA for half that price. I mean, seriously, the way it's outfitted and what it has on it really was nothing spectacular. So
yeah,
okay. So,
I mean, if they brought the price down to something reasonable, I would consider getting one just because I'd want to just see what they did. I mean, it's probably just a regular mil spec AR-15 from what it looks like. That's what it is. And
okay.
I mean, didn't they do that with the Saint too? Springfield Armory did, the big hype, and it's just another AR-15. And
it had it at the time. It had its own furniture you could only get from Blackhawk on that gun, but I think now you can buy the furniture on the open market.
Yeah, I mean, in general, you're better off just assembling what you want, just buying the components and assembling it. You're going to get a better rifle for less money. But if you just want something out of the box, you can get something with no optics for right in the $450 range. But yeah, that Taurus is just overpriced for what it is right now.
Squib, what's your number 4?
Number 4 would be a reproduction Whitworth rifle.
Okay, what are we talking for price?
I think it's right in the $1,800 range. It's been a while since I've looked for one.
Okay. Okay, my number 4 is going to be a Scar H, because they're about $3,500. I'd have to sell my Jeep to buy one. Even then, I'd probably still need to come up with a couple $1,000s, but a Scar Heavy, Scar H, FN. A little bias towards FN on my list. I apologize, but then after that, it's going to get a little more fun. So, okay, let's
expensive.
Yeah, I'd love that. I've held one before. They are very cool. At some point, I may get to range test one, but I don't know. But that's another bucket list gun. Third, AWAG. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is, let's see. I had a link. I had this guy right here.
86 Tula. Okay, an AKS 74U.
The little Krinkov.
Okay. What are we talking for price on that?
Buy it now. Price $2,600.
Well, that's not so bad.
That's too bad, but this is an NFA item, so I can't buy it.
Well, no, that's it. It's bucket list, so you just assume that you'd have the resources to get it. You'd have a way to get it. So, okay, that's a nice choice. All right, Gary, what about you? Number 3.
How about a nice high-end 1911, say a Les Bear or something like that?
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that 1911 suggestion. I got one coming up. That works. And again, on those, it's Nighthawk or whatever. You can spend whatever you want.
Something I'll never buy, but it'd be cool if I could afford it.
It'd make a nice conversation piece just to have around the office,
Yeah, I probably would never want to shoot it. But
just have it over the mantle, in the case. Yeah. It's the Les Bear. Take it out and wax it once a year,
Heck yeah.
All right. Squib, number 3.
A Shiloh Sharps Quigley and 45 110.
Ooh. Nice.
How much are we talking here?
I think they're around $4,000 price range, and I think there's still a waiting list for them.
So go sell your Dodge, go buy a Chevy Silverado, and then you can take the difference in the cash and go buy your rifle.
Or buy an old Ford. You can get them for $500.
This is some bug out.
Yeah, you can all day long. So here's the thing, Travis. On the Dodge thing, you're talking about bug out. If you're talking about a daily driver, Silverado is just fine. Okay, especially a half-ton gas engine is just fine when you want the cruise control and the heated seats and, all that other stuff. But in the apocalypse, my 1-ton diesel will run right over all kinds of stuff that Silverado will not. That being said, my wife's probably going to twist my arm into getting a Silverado or a Colorado. Which, like I said, they're great daily drivers. They will. You can go down to Home Depot and pick up plywood and stuff like that. But in the apocalypse, even in a 4x4, I still would rather have that big diesel 1-ton versus with off-road tires than just an off-the-lot 4x4 V8 gas engine anything.
See, now here's the deal.
That's why I was giving you some.
The thing is, I had those two choices. That's not my preference. My preference would be a V10 Dodge Ram Sport 4-wheel drive. That's what I would do.
It's got power, but still, it's not like that diesel. The diesel just. I mean, you can have the same amount of power. You're not going to have the speed.
The whole family. You're not going to pull the whole neighborhood.
I know. I love the V10. That was the first one the Dodge Rams came out. My buddies and I were drooling. It's got the Viper engine, which it really doesn't.
Yeah.
But we used to say, "Oh man, I want a V10 Dodge Ram." Anyway, okay. Let's get back.
Ford still has that. Ford still has a V10 for their commercial truck, so you could get a medium-duty commercial truck with a pickup truck bed on it, and you could have your V10. But yeah, I'm just saying that diesel. I understand that diesel is a little bit harder to find in gasoline and that sort of thing, But overall, we're talking about apocalypse. You're trying to get out in your bug out vehicle. What?
At least it's not E85.
Yeah, that's true.
Me on that.
But
all right,
yeah,
all
so
right,
that's
all
why I
right.
was texting you, going, man, come, because I'm driving home in my Dodge Ram diesel, and I'm going, dude, really?
If it was going to be a Dodge, it would have to be the V10 Sport. I'm just saying. I got it's just me. That's just me. I've never owned a diesel.
Eventually,
so I can't comment on it. So.
Well, okay, so it does cost more for oil changes, and you've got an oil water filter, and fuel costs a little bit more, and blah 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 blah. And if anything breaks, it's all going to cost more. The fuel pump costs more. Everything costs more, right? But it's just the durability. The durability. The older it gets, the better it runs. The fuel mileage, stuff like that. It's a long-term kind of thing. But Chevy's going to have a truck month one of these times, and I'm going to just get a Colorado or a Silverado, and that'll be my daily driver. And I don't know if the Ram's still running, I may just put it in storage for that apocalyptic moment. But
okay, so
it's rusting away.
With the truck thing, I'm going to leave you with this. When you get a chance, look up the Chevy Silverado with the Big Ten retro package. Look up the Big Ten Chevy Silverado. The
retro
Big Ten retro package. You're going to want to buy one of those so bad. There's a dealership that is taking Silverados and they're putting the 1980s, late 70s, 80s stripes and the white wheels on it and stuff. The thing just looks friggin' awesome. But anyway, okay, let's get it back to guns. My number 3 is going to be, I'm going to screen share my top 3 here. You're going to love this one. So since Gary's getting himself a 1911, I got to have one too. This is the Cabot Arms Meteorite 1911.
Oh yeah.
$4.5 million for
the pair. Hell yeah.
For the pair, $4.5 million. And the grips aren't even they're chunked up because it's meteorite. Now you might want to watch out because you start showing that off on Instagram, NASA might show up at your door and they might want their meteorite back. Like the whole moon dust thing that happened that we were talking about the other day. But man, would that be fun? $4.5 million. And I would shoot those. That'd be my daily carry right there.
Anybody else with one like that? You want to talk about a conversation starter?
I mean, it doesn't take Glock mags, but if you want to talk cool, you got the meteorite grips going on. It doesn't. No, it does. There's always that one guy. Does it take Glock mags? No, it does not. So. All right, it's always kind of a running joke in the gun family. All right, so that's mine's going to be the Cabot Arms. Okay, number 2, AWAG. What's your number 2, bro?
Sorry.
That's all right, man.
Racing. Sorry.
Racist?
I got no.
Racing. My bad. I'm sorry, but
wow, man.
All right, what's your number 2?
The rifle that I should have never sold. SIG 556 XI.
SIG 556. We got a very unique list going on here. 556 XI. How much for a new one?
I actually paid a little over this for my mine. So, I mean, this is a pretty decent price. $1,500.
It's piston driven, I take it.
Yep, piston. The barrel is incredibly light on it. It's a very lightweight rifle.
Cool.
Very, very accurate.
Is that a pencil barrel on it?
Yes.
How does that handle the heat?
It doesn't, but it's a patrol rifle basically. It's made for maybe one magazine and then.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Like light engagements, you're not going to be doing CQB storming the home with that thing. So
yeah, they do make an SBR version of this, and it's pretty sick.
Okay. So we'll go the SBR version for your bucket list gun, if you could. All right, Gary, number 2.
Glock 18.
Oh, there we go. Select fire. It's fully semi-automatic, right?
You betcha.
Yeah, this is fully automatic.
Fully automatic. fully semi-auto. Glock 18. I never thought of that one. That's a good choice.
I have the stock too.
Squib, how much? What would you say? What's your number 2?
Desert Eagle 50AE.
I was looking at those last night. That would be fun. So you're looking at it anywhere $1,000 on up for one, depending on what kind of finish you want to go with. Would you go with the Gangsta Gold plated, or
here we get the Tiger Stripe one?
Muddy Girl pink and black camo?
No.
Fly black?
No, it would be a nickel finish, maybe.
A little bit of bling going on there. All right.
A little bit of bling.
Yeah, a little bit of bling going on for you. You know, you like to keep it kind of conservative. So, okay, my number 2 is I just did a search on the most expensive guns that are out there. Let me do another screen share for you guys here. And all right, my number 2 is going to be the Wyatt Earp's Colt 45 that was used in the gunfight at OK Corral. And it sold for $225,000 at an auction back in the early 2000s, or like 2007, I believe, 2006. So that'd be my number 2. That's what I would have to go with. Just I got to get.
You just get Han Solo's blaster from Return of the Jedi.
Probably good. I just thought, for kind of a fun cowboy gun that's got some lineage to it, kind of a story behind it. I think that'd make a nice after dinner conversation piece. So that'd be my number 2. I would have to go that route.
Y'all ever heard of this guy named Wyatt Earp? Well, I got his gun right here.
Exactly.
Hold on. Let me get these meteorite pistols out of the way.
Yeah, there you go. Gary loaned me his 1911 Les Bear to show you. All right.
There you go.
All right. Number 1, AWAG. What is your number 1 choice for your bucket list gun?
Let's see. Let me screen share again. All right. Bam, this thing right here. The AN-94. I'm going to bring up a picture of that. There you go.
Oh, okay. So describe this thing. What is it?
It's a little bit of an ugly duckling.
All right.
But what it is it's a recoilless 2-round burst. It's basically putting 2 rounds exactly on top of each other with 0 recoil.
So it's fully semi-auto.
It is, yeah. It's an assault rifle, so it's fully automatic.
It's the original double tap rifle,
essentially.
Okay.
But one trigger pull is 2-round bursts, and the rate of fire is 900 rounds a minute for fully automatic, and for the 2-round burst, it's equated to around 2,200.
So what is it? 545,
545 by 39.
Oh, okay. Now, how much are we talking here if you could get one?
I've seen parts kits for these things, and I've only seen one parts kit in the United States, only one.
Okay.
And it ran around $17,000.
Oh my God! You could almost make one yourself for that price if you had the specs. You could mill it, machine your own.
But it's a long recoil action. This is actually a physical, like a steel rod, and the barrel actually slides back on it, and that's how it reduces the recoil. It's freaking awesome.
That is awesome, dude. I like that. Let's see. Sean is saying, has anybody ever bought a Muddy Girl camo AR? Even during panic buying, those ugly guns were still on the shelves. Yeah, my local Walmart has Muddy Girl, not ARs, but they got the Muddy Girl camo rifles. But okay, well, good choice. Good number 1, man. Very unique. I like that. Gizzard Gary, what's your number 1?
Well, let me show you.
You own it?
No.
Oh, okay.
This one right here, ladies and gentlemen, the fully automatic Thompson submachine gun.
Nice. Okay. I remember watching an episode of Pawn Stars, and somebody was showing one off, and the guy wanted.
I got a guy that knows about that.
$75,000 for it, and he wouldn't. 55 or 60 was as much as Rick was offering him for it. Is that right? I can't remember what they. Gary, what would something like that run you these days? Have you ever looked one up to see what they go for?
I looked one up a second ago. I saw them going for about $20K.
Oh, that's not bad. That's pretty fair to get.
No, that sounds about right. Sounds about right. Full autos do not cost as much as some people think. Now, don't get me wrong. Some of these guns, it's, do I buy a new car or do I buy one of these guns? But they are in a price range of somebody with a job, with a steady paycheck. It's just, you may have to finance it. You may have to max out a credit card or two. You may have to save up. You may have to. I'm not saying it's right that unless you're an SOT, you can't get something newer than 86. I'm not saying it's right that these prices are inflated, but if you were to get one of these NFA items, by the book, you get your tax stamp, you save up your money, blah, 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 and you do all the things that you're supposed to be doing with it. Now you're in that club. You're in that club of people who have one of these more rare firearms. And of course, you're going to want the value to go up. And now suddenly you're on the other side of the fence. So just understand that there's a matter of perspective when you're looking at how much people want for these stupid things, but it is an attainable goal.
So it is possible, man. You can make it happen. You don't have to necessarily just totally break the bank to get one. A lot of people don't realize that you can get them, and it's not.
Yeah.
30,000.
Okay. No, that's not chump change. I mean, I don't have 30,000 sitting in my gun safe right now, but I mean, you can get a loan for 30,000. Just have to show that you've been, working. So.
Yeah. Let's see. Going back to the Thompson Midnight Ranges thing, I did a video on a Thompson at the Emmy gun show, Maryland gun show, or Emmy. Help me out here. I'm totally drawing a blank. At the gun show for $22,000. You don't watch my vids? Midnight Range, I do too. I do watch your videos. Dude, your cooking videos.
All his videos are about food.
No,
he
does good videos. Somebody saying you do videos, Midnight?
No, he actually cleans a 1911.
Dude, I watch your podcast when I can't make them. I usually have them playing in the background when I'm working on stuff. I listen to them. So I'm a Midnight Range TM groupie, man. I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That's kind of weird. All right. So where are we at? Gary, you're number one? You threw your number one out. Yours was a Thompson?
Yeah.
Okay. Squib, what's your number one?
Henry Repeating Arms 1860 Henry in a 4440 Winchester centerfire.
Okay, how much are we talking?
About $4,000.
Okay. Not bad. That would work out well. And why that gun? What is it about that gun that's appealing to you? Why that rifle?
I like the old guns. This one is made identical to the 1860 Henry, with the exception that the 1860 Henry was a 44 Henry rimfire, which the closest thing you're going to get is a 4440 Winchester centerfire, which was the cartridge that ended up replacing that in the late 19th century. So this is a handmade, hand-fitted gun made in America. With it's about as close to a real 1860 Henry that you can go out and shoot all you want with ammunition that's available, that's centerfire. As pretty much as close as you can get. Now there is a repro. Who makes it? Uberti maybe for about $1,800, and I'm sure it's just fine. The specs on it's very similar, but it's not handmade. It's not made in the USA. It doesn't have that Henry quality. And I'm not opposed to having one of those after I get the Henry, but every gun on my list was something that I could buy if I was really willing to really extend my finances. It's just, I haven't.
So it could happen. Someday it could happen. That's the key, right?
Yeah, it could.
It could happen.
It could happen. But out of all those guns, these are all guns that over the years I've wanted. I mean, some of these guns I've wanted for over 20 years. But the Henry is in current production. I think all of these are in current production. Yeah, maybe one day. Maybe after I get the Silverado or Colorado or whatever.
Sean Newman is saying the Spaz 12 for raptor hunting. Yeah, there you go. The FAMAS, is it? No, not FAMAS. I'm sorry. It's the Spaz 12. I can't remember who made that. Anyway, the French gun.
Yeah, Frianchi. I don't know. Beretta owns them now.
Franco-American, Frito-Lay. I don't remember, but hey, awesome shotgun. Okay, so we're down to me, my number one. Let me go ahead and screen share on this one. I got a fun one that I picked out. I wanted something that was unique. I wanted something expensive, something that was kind of a one-off, one of a kind. So I've got the original truck gun. We've got George Washington's saddle guns. This is what he carried with him on his pony. Who would want one of those? They sold at an auction back in 2006 for $1.9 million. Like I said, the original truck gun.
Dang.
Pretty.
There you go. Yeah, I would definitely. I think I could make that work. I don't know. Yeah. So that's my number one. That's my number one bucket list gun. That would just be fun. Just have them in a nice box over the mantle.
I'm surprised those aren't in a museum somewhere.
The funny part is they are. They were bought out by some curation fund museum thing. They bought them and somebody donated them to a museum. So I don't know who owned them before the museum got them, but they are in a museum in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
so there we
too bad
go.
They're not in Tulsa.
No doubt. Maybe we can get Midnight Range to go out there and make a video on these. There you go.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. There you go, Midnight Range. That's a challenge to you, brother. Get out there and find the saddle pistols and bring me my bucket list guns. So anyway, yeah, a little bit of fun on that one there. All right, let's see if we have any final comments on the gun channel side here today. It was good enough for President Washington. It's good enough for me. General Relativity said that. Hitler killed himself with a PPK. Adolf Hitler's Walther was also one of those guns that was on the list, but I wasn't going to pick it. It is interesting to look at it. It was presented by Karl Walther to Hitler, and I don't know if that's the gun that he used to kill himself with or not. But yeah, his gun did get picked up by a GI. It traded a few hands and ended up going into an auction, and it sold for, I can't remember what it sold for, a couple $100,000 if I'm not mistaken. It's like a gold inlay etched Walther PPK. It's PPK.
How did we get it? The Russians found the Führer bunker, not us.
Let me check and see what it said here, because they do explain the story of how it made it back. So it's the most expensive historic gun sold in history. All right, so Hitler's Golden Walther PP. Let me go ahead and screen share, and you guys can see this.
Yeah, I thought it was a PP, not the
All right,
PPK.
so it said Hitler received this pistol as a gift on his 50th birthday from Karl Walther. Hitler was very fond of this pistol and kept it in his desk drawer of his Munich apartment. Pistol was eventually taken. Okay, my bad. Pistol was eventually taken by an American soldier in 1945 during the raid of his apartment, so it wasn't in the Eagle's Nest, and was brought back to the United States. The pistol switched hand many times before coming up for auction in 1987. Sold for $114,000, which at the time was the highest price ever paid at auction for military memorabilia.
So some commie in Russia has got the one he actually finished himself off with. This is another one of his.
That might be in a museum in Russia somewhere. I'm not sure exactly, but yeah.
Hidden away in some KGB archive. AWAG, go find it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, woo! Let's go invade Russia. All right, grab your Tokarev. We're going to war.
Whoa, Tokarev would know.
All right. All PPKs are currently made out of unobtainium, apparently. Yeah, probably. Yeah, no, paper plane crash. You're right. That was not the one. That was just one that was in his apartment. So it was not the one that he took himself with. So.
It's still, it's a piece of history, though. So
I'm surprised.
Good or bad, whatever. History is history.
Yep. Okay, so guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We've been going for a solid 2 hours. Next Saturday, I'm going to see if Night Strike will run Caliber Corner. I'm going to be on the road, spending time with family, so there is a possibility if I do any kind of a Caliber Corner, I might quirk somebody. I apologize. It would be from the road. So I just want to let you guys give you a heads up on that. There may not be an episode next Saturday. After that, we'll be back again for episode number 50. And I don't know what the topic's going to be. This, by the way, officially wraps up the Instagram topics of suggestions for future episodes. I may be doing a 9,000 sub giveaway. If I do that, I can open it up to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Suggestions for future shows. It might be kind of hard to suggest topics we haven't covered yet, because over the last 10 episodes, they've all been viewer requests. And we've covered a lot of good topics. I'm kind of mishmashing, throwing stuff together. You're kind of getting a just a mix of topics, just trying to have some fun with it. So we might do a 9,000 sub giveaway. So real quick, let's wrap it up. Squib, you got anything that you want to end with before we call it?
No. I'm still making really lousy videos. I might work on some this weekend. I don't know. Yard work's going to take precedence over that, and I'm still weaseling onto shows like this one. So I do appreciate the invite, and just appreciate the opportunity to run my mouth.
Cool. There we go. All right, and Gizzard Gary, anything you want to say before we call it?
Well, I appreciate the invite. Visit my website, gizzardgary.com. If you're not a member of Gun Channels, please consider joining. It's a great place to be. Also, check out guntube.org, digitally preserving the Second Amendment. That's all I got.
Heck yeah. Cool. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you staying the whole time. And again, my thank you to anybody in the panel that had dropped. We had about 4 or 5 other people here, and a couple people couldn't make it because they were busy. No problems. Like I said, there'll be an episode next week, and either I'll do one from the road or I'll have Night Strike running or anybody else that wants to run it. AWAG, anything you want to say before we go?
Just look out for me on the live streams, either Matt's, Travis's, Night Strikes, hit or miss Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock.
8 o'clock Central Time.
Whatever. Nah,
that matters, man.
Yeah, look out for me. My channel right now is in kind of a dark zone. So yeah. Check out GunTube. Obviously, go. I'm on there. I should be putting a video up sometime eventually.
Awesome. Okay. Do you have videos over on GunTube yet? I don't know if I subscribed to you yet or not.
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay, and I guess for myself to finish up, guntube.org, Travis P11 over there, gunchannels.com, Caliber Corner, go over there and sign up. I'm on YouTube and Gunstreamer now also. Travis P11 is the channel if you're over there watching them. Otherwise, we got patreon.com/Travis P11. And I think that's pretty much it. So that should pretty much wrap it up. Again, I got more videos coming your way. Might slow down a little bit because of the holiday. I don't know what I'm going to have for gun videos. I've got about 2 or 3 in the cache sitting there that I'm going to upload after this week. I'll have probably 2 or 3 more to get through. There could be maybe 4 or 5 days without a video. But again, I've got over 600 you guys can check out. There's plenty of content if you want to go enjoy something. Do check out the videos. And we should be good. So my thank you to everybody that joined us in the panel. Again, support guntube.org. You go over to... You say it was on Patreon? It was patreon.com/GunTube. Night Strike said that if I'm not mistaken. But if you ask Night Strike, he'll tell you where to find it. We want to get that up and running. We want to keep it funded because guntube.org is very cool. And they also offer live streaming now. So at some point in the future, we may start taking Caliber Corner over there. And so in the meantime, guys, I think that's pretty much it. We had a lot of discussion today. I hope you guys all enjoyed joining in. Oh, yeah, real quick. Let's do the little roll call. We had Paper Plane Crash over on the Gun Channel side. We also had... see, no, that's all I'm seeing right now on that side. The chat refreshed itself. Okay, over on the YouTube side, we've got Moo Butt, Sean Newman, Jumpy was with us, Black Cat Outdoors, Gizzard Gary, David Bowling, Calaveras 32 SPCL, Midnight Range, Sean Ponnery was with us, and a lot of other people joining in. Let's see here. Just Dana was with us today too. Patrick was over there. Philo. The Gun Snob was with us. So, Gun Snob, thank you for joining us. I was talking to you last night. Good stuff chatting with you. That's pretty much about it. So, if I didn't miss anybody, 187 Hyde was with us also. That's a new one. I don't know if I've seen you before. Cadillac Jack and General Relativity. So that's it. So, guys, this has been Caliber Corner episode number 49. Again, it'll be up there. If you missed any part of it, feel free to go back and listen to it. I will get it posted over on guntube.org as soon as we finish up here. And again, you can find it over on gunchannels.com. So, that's it, guys. In the meantime, I want you to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. Felicia?
Bye, Felicia.
There we go. Okay, good. And in
Bye,
Spanish?
Alicia.
You should have.
Alicia, Felicia, adios.
Adios.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Un baguette.
Baguette. I speak French. French fries, French dressing, French bread. Yeah, I speak French. All right, we're out, guys. Bye.